Lock horns one more time, and it all starts next on Fox and Farley Friday Night Football. Fox and Farley Friday Night Football is brought to you by the law firm of Fox and Farley, Powell Brothers Mechanical Contractors, Ciderville Music, Elizabeth Powers with the American Financial Network, Ace Hardware of Clinton, Pizza Express, Ray Varner Ford, Allstate Insurance, ASAP of Anderson, the Eye Center of Oak Ridge, Lowe's Toes, Fox Toyota, the Rogers Group, Clinton Utilities Board, C&D Printing, Anderson Crossing Pharmacy, and by Hammers. Stay tuned because we'll be back after these messages with the Eye Center pregame show and our interview with Clinton head coach Randy McCamey. It's all next on Fox and Farley Friday Night Football week number 1 on Wish.
Experience, reputation, results. 3 reasons you should trust the law firm of Fox and Farley. Too often, those who are injured on the job have difficulty receiving the compensation and benefits they're legally due. If you think you're a victim of an on-the-job accident or illness, call Fox and Farley now. The sooner that Fox and Farley is on your case, the sooner you'll receive the benefits you're due. Call 457-6440 today for a free consultation with the Fox and Farley legal team. 457-6440. Are you looking to purchase a new home or save thousands of dollars on your current mortgage? With mortgage interest rates at an all-time low, Elizabeth Powers with American Financial Network can help you do just that. Call Elizabeth with American Financial Network today at 865-640-5605. 640-5605. NMLS number 198633.
Fox Toyota in Clinton is celebrating 75 years. 75 years of treating customers like family and helping you find the vehicle you want. During our extended anniversary sale, get the lowest prices of the year on every car in stock. Also, every new car comes with Toyota Care, plus a limited lifetime warranty. Visit Fox Toyota during their extended anniversary sale going on now for a limited time in Clinton, just 20 minutes from downtown Knoxville, I-75 exit 122, and online at foxtoyotaclinton.com.
Welcome into the Eye Center pregame show here on Fox and Farley Friday night.
We are the Oak Ridge High School cheerleaders here at
ORUD getting fired up for tonight's game.
O-A-K-R-I-D-G-E. 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 O-A-K-R-I-D-G-E.
ORUD can help you clean up after the game with the reliability of a natural gas water heater and the energy savings from a gas dryer.
Host your friends in style when entertaining this football season with natural gas appliances purchased from ORUD at 0% interest.
Want to cozy up next to a natural gas fire pit after a chilly night at the ball field? Let ORUD help you with a play-by-play to truly make your house feel like home.
Adding a natural gas grill to your home means never having to run to the store before kickoff to fill up that propane tank again. Make the switch today.
Now it's your turn to be the champion of your team and score a touchdown with ORUD and natural gas, a winning combination.
I'm alive. We are live from Dr. Nat Sugarman Field in Kingston, Tennessee. I am Aaron Harvey, joined aside by James Gibson as we get this season started for the BBB TV Channel 12 Game of the Week. Tonight, it is Kingston, it is Harriman, and we'd like to welcome in our title sponsor, Ogle, Elrod, and Burrell. You know these guys. They'll come to you, turn your wreck into a check, and you won't get paid unless they get paid. And I'm so excited for football time to be here again. Last night, we already had a game, a monstrous game, as I welcome in my cohort, James Gibson. Welcome to the broadcast, buddy.
Thanks for having me, Aaron. I'm excited to be here.
Now, so the people know, because they might not know you as well as I do, because we go a long way back, tell everybody a little bit about yourself.
Well, like I said, I'm James Gibson. I'm from the Wartburg area. I've been coaching high school football for a while and coached on the college level at Kentucky Christian University and Southern Tech. And got a lot of family ties down here to the Roane County area. My grandfather was a head football coach down here at Kingston and Rockwood and Wartburg and Cofield and various other programs throughout East Tennessee. And venturing off in this world of TV with you.
There you go. So Jim Hoot Gibson is who you are referencing. A lot of people might know that name because he did coach so many different places around this area. But speaking of Jim Hoot Gibson, and I didn't tell you to prepare for this, so I'm sorry for putting you on the spot, but the Hoot Bowl going on tonight, and that's named after your grandfather because of the first place he coached and the last place he coached, Coalfield and Wartburg. So they've got that rivalry to start up the season. How do you see that one playing out?
That's going to be a good game. Kevin Heumann has turned that program around slowly but surely. Anytime you build something right, it's going to take a little time, and he's doing a great job up there. Coach Henry at Cofield, we all know him. He's done an outstanding job down at Cofield. And I look for Cofield to take that game tonight, but I look for Wartburg to hang in early.
All right, so we'll see what happens there. We'll try to keep you updated with some scores around the area, and we're going to talk some football around the area when we get back. This is the Ogle, Elrod, and Burrell High School Football Game of the Week on BBB TV, Channel 12.
You guys support community here.
Planning a funeral can be difficult at best, but it can be a lot easier if you work with people who care. That's Davis Funeral Home in Harriman and Wartburg. Davis Funeral Home gives attention to every detail, ensuring your loved ones will be remembered with honor and integrity. Davis Funeral Home works very hard to give you the most professional service possible. Davis Funeral Homes, Morgan Avenue in Harriman and Old Mill Road in Wartburg. Davis Funeral Homes, people who care.
It's nothing personal. It's just business.
Hello?
That's how some people do things.
Right away.
To us, everything we do is personal. Because anyone can answer the call. It's who shows up that matters most. That's the quality of your independent agent and the company that stands behind them.
Griffin Insurance is your local independent auto owner's insurance agency.
You don't think it'll happen to you twice. First, it was a fire. My agent was right there and helped me rebuild. Then the tornado destroyed everything, again. Both times, my independent agent and auto owners took care of me like someone takes care of family.
For whatever lies ahead, we're always there.
Griffin Insurance in Kingston is your local independent auto owner's insurance agency.
The Harriman Utility Board is committed to providing safe and reliable natural gas service to our customers in Harriman and Roane County through the use of safe operational procedures with trained and knowledgeable personnel. An odorant is added to natural gas and maintained to a certain level so that in the event of a gas leak, it can be easily detected. If you smell or suspect a natural gas leak, please call the Harriman Utility Board at 882-3242. We can be reached 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. The Harriman Utility Board.
Back at Kingston, Roane County High School, Aaron Harvey, James Gibson, and right now we're going to run down high school football in the viewer area. So I wanted to ask James, who's had some time to study some of these local teams. We're just going to run down who we think is probably going to come down on top on of the regions that we care about. So let's start out with Class Single A, Region 1. What you got?
Definitely Greenback. They're holding Willis, and they're stacked this year. I look for them to make a deep run. And coming up right behind them is a tough Cloudland team.
And that's how it normally works up there. It's Greenville,
really
or it's Greenback, and it's Cloudland. What about Class or Region 2, Class 1A?
I've got Cofield coming out on top again this year, followed up by Harriman.
This team right here that we're getting ready to see, I want to see what they do with, unfortunately, one of their options for starting quarterback has a broken collarbone. We won't see him tonight. We'll get into that a little bit later. But what about Class 2A, Region 2?
Region 2, I've got Meigs County coming in first, and then Oneida coming up right behind them. And Oneida could very well knock them off for that number 1 spot.
Yeah, speaking of Oneida and Harriman played in a jamboree, and that was Oneida getting the victory. They scored one time. They only played a quarter. That's how jamborees work. But, yeah, Oneida got the score and defeated that Harriman team in the jamboree. What about looking at Class 3A, Region 2?
Alcoa. I mean, how can you vote for anyone else other than Gary Rankin's Alcoa program? They're loaded again this year, and I look for them to take probably a state championship run. And followed up, surprisingly, I'm going to pick Austin East. They are loaded to the gills with talent this year, and with some really good coaching up there. So look for them to make another good run.
Alcoa playing Blackman this year. That's really impressive. Gary Rankin trying to beef up that schedule. He plays Maryville every year. Why not play Blackman?
It's not going to do nothing but help him later in the playoff season, so I don't blame him a bit trying to improve his schedule.
Kingston's going to try to have something to say in that region, but it's a tough one of the toughest in the state that includes Kingston and Alcoa and Austin East, like you said. Moving on to Class 4A, what about that first region?
Anderson County. Anderson County is loaded again this year, and I look for them. Even though you lost Sterling Martin, I believe, was their quarterback last year, I still anticipate Anderson County going to take that over. Coach David Gilliam is an awesome coach in this area. And followed up, I got Chattanooga Central coming up second.
So you're talking about Stanton Martin, just a phenomenal athlete, broke records at Anderson County, couldn't get over that Greenville hump, even though they played Greenville really tough when they played them, but couldn't get over that Greenville hump. Greenville plays Powell last night, and Greenville with a new head coach. Coach Ballard resigns, and Powell, the Panthers, getting that win in a game that was delayed, didn't kick off until 9:05 because of weather. But how about Powell ending a 30-game winning streak for the Green Devils?
Aaron, I'm not even surprised with Coach Matt Lau taking that job up at Powell. He is an outstanding coach. Look what he did at TKA. And I really anticipate them to make a deep run again this year. And watch Powell. They could challenge a lot of teams this year.
Class 5A, a lot of our viewers care a lot about Class 5A because it involves some of the teams that we cover, including Clinton and Oak Ridge. How do you see Oak Ridge's region playing out?
This is the toughest region in all of the state of Tennessee.
Without
top
question.
to bottom. You got Oak Ridge, Powell, Fulton, Knox West, Clinton, Campbell County, Carnes. Any of those teams could knock off somebody. But definitely I've got Oak Ridge number 1, followed up by Powell, and with a Fulton that is always dangerous with Coach up there. So, I mean, it could be a very fun year to watch, but I've got Oak Ridge coming out on top.
And we just talked about Powell getting the win against Greenville last night. So you've got just add Powell into that mix. They're going to be a powerhouse. Would have made the playoffs last year had they not had to forfeit some games because of a player that played in the first 6 games that was ineligible. So would have been a playoff team last year.
They sure would have. I think it was 6 games they had to forfeit last year, which is unfortunate for that program. But again, Matt Lau's going to do a great job up there, and he's turned it around quickly.
And quickly, let's talk about Class 6A. You've got Region 1 and Region 2. What do you got going on there?
Region 1, I've got Science Hill coming out on top over Farragut just because of everyone that they're returning. Coach Courtney's a great coach at Farragut, so you could see a potential of Farragut won it last year, so I'm still thinking that Science Hill's going to pull that one out. Region 2, I've got Maryville, of course, coming out on top, followed by Bradley Central, and then Ottawa behind Bradley Central.
All right, we got to preview this game when we get back, but quickly, what do you think about this atmosphere? This Harriman, this Kingston, last year, you know how it ended. A last-second play, Harriman scores a touchdown on a bobbled pass that got bobbled off of 2 Kingston players before a Harriman player grabbed it and scored the touchdown. What about this atmosphere tonight?
This is one of the premier atmospheres in all of high school football. Again, Kingston is one of the traditional powerhouses in East Tennessee, going back 40 years of successful football and many state championship runs and state championships. You can't ask for a better atmosphere. Little bit of dark clouds off in the behind the mountains, but temperature's good, the field's dry, and it looks to be sold out here.
Yeah, normally it's hot as blazes this time of year. It's actually really good weather to play football in. About 84 degrees was just the high for today. So we're going to get a break. When we get back, we'll talk about this Kingston-Harriman game as you're tuned in to the Ogle, Elrod, and Beryl High School Football Game of the Week.
We also ask you please pay special attention to the signs around the fence.
And the Hot Water Wars. A Rinnai tankless water heater gives you an endless supply of hot water for everything you need to do. Rinnai, hot water for all.
Reno Sporting Goods, your first choice for sports equipment. On the court, on the field, or in the stands, Reno's has the brand names you want. All the latest from Adidas, Under Armour, and more. From custom embroidery to screen printing, it's all about the game. For over 30 years, Reno Sporting Goods. For 30 years, Reno Sporting Goods has been a leader in supplying the highest quality equipment and apparel for sports teams throughout East Tennessee. Athletes, fans, and coaches alike rely on the knowledge and experience that only Reno's can provide. For the best in team sports, shop Reno Sporting Goods.
Here is Helen Hammer.
Thank you, Mr. Walker. A lot of years have passed since that TV ad. Hammer stores are still offering up-to-the-minute fashions for men and women, famous label outdoor wear and boots, area rugs, and exciting purchases. All at Hammer's famous low price. Race on down!
The hotter the days, the hotter the sales at Ray Varner Ford in Clinton. Like this 2012 Mitsubishi Fuso box truck, one owner, $14,995. 2016 Ford Transit Connect cargo van, $16,988. Ray Varner Ford in Clinton. The hotter the days, the hotter the sales at Ray Varner Ford in Clinton. I have a 2015 F-150 Super Cab EcoBoost, low miles, one owner, $22,588. 2013 Nissan cargo van, $6,800. Ray Varner Ford in Clinton.
Really? Again? Hey, if I had automotive style suspension like the new Simplicity, plus a free floating mower deck for the best cut, I'd be all that too.
Well,
and if I had the expertise and advice of his Simplicity dealer, maybe he'd look forward to hanging out with me.
You don't have a Simplicity dealership.
Good point. Huh.
Yeah. SL Bowman & Sons, 524 North Front Street in Rockwood.
And you are looking at Dr. Nat Sugarman Field, and this is the Ogle, Elrod, and Burrill High School Football Game of the Week, brought to you on BBBTV Channel 12 in Oak Ridge. Take a look at our schedule here. We got some really good games on the docket there, James. We got Harriman and Kingston tonight, Kingston at Oliver Springs next week, Coalfield at Harriman, and then we got Kingston again when they go to Rockwood, West at Oak Ridge. Then we got Rockwood and Harriman, so we'll have an opportunity to see some of these teams before we cover them. East Ridge and Anderson County, that'll be an interesting game. Fulton at Clinton, so we'll get to see the Falcons. And then here's one that I'm really excited about, Oak Ridge at Mount Juliet, adding that trip. That road trip, Oak Ridge, going to Middle Tennessee, that should be a lot of fun.
Absolutely. Oak Ridge, like I said earlier, is loaded to the gills in talent. And Mount Juliet, I recruited that program heavily when I was coaching college football, and they've always got special talent up there. And you always have a lot of kids transfer in the Middle Tennessee area. You'll find them playing at Mount Juliet. So it could be a very trap game for Oak Ridge if they don't come ready, prepared to have a fight.
Now, to end the season, Coalfield at Oliver Springs and Cumberland Gap at Rockwood, both of those games will probably have playoff implications.
Absolutely. Coach Henry at Coalfield will have his team ready to go versus Oliver Springs, and Oliver Springs will be the same way. That coach at Oliver Springs has done a great job down there since he took over, and he's got them prepared. So that'll be a big game.
It certainly will. So we're getting ready to have our national anthem played by the Kingston Marching Band. You buy a ticket to go to a football game, and in doing so, you also get entertainment. This Kingston band is incredible.
It's always been like that since I can remember being down here walking around on the sidelines with my grandfather, always having around 100-member band. It's one of the premier bands in East Tennessee, in my opinion.
Always look forward to the halftime show as well. So let's talk about Harriman and Kingston. It's just a great rivalry. They took about a 4-year break of playing each other between 2011 and 2015, and Kingston dominated that series for the entirety of my lifetime, and it probably goes back farther than that. But they started playing back in 2015. Kingston wins that game. Harriman wins in 2016 for the first time in over 20 years. Kingston comes back, gets their revenge in 2017, but last year, we've already referenced it, a last-second pass as Harriman was down 21-6 with under 5 minutes left, came back on a last-second touchdown and won that one, making this the rivalry that it is supposed to be. So you've got those two factors tonight. Kingston knows that they had that one won and didn't win it, so they want revenge. Harriman on the other side, they're saying, hey, we're tied 2-2 right now in the last 4 games that we played. We can play with Class 3A Kingston. They've got some momentum coming into this game. Which is the bigger factor, you think?
Well, both really. Kingston will be hungry for revenge, and Harriman will look to knock off the Yellow Jackets again. I'm very excited to watch this game as both teams want to knock each other off. You know, Harriman hasn't beat Kingston but twice in the last 27 years. Before 2016, I think it was 1992 when Harriman had the likes of Jermaine Copeland. the last time that they beat Kingston. So Kingston's usually dominated this game historically, but Harriman here recently has picked it up under Coach Tapp.
And Coach Travis Tapp played on a team at Harriman that knocked off Kingston in the 80s, and now he can say that he's done it as a coach as well, not once but twice, which is a very impressive feat if you look at the history between these two schools. Speaking of Coach Travis Tapp of the Harriman Blue Devils, he says that he doesn't have a depth chart because he had a young team. They were trying to get things together and see who could play in all the different positions and see who could be best plugged in for tonight's game. So my question to you is, you've helped coach high school football, you've helped coach college football. Are you buying that?
No, absolutely not. I guarantee you the kids know who is starting the game at which position, probably a week in advance, by how the repetitions and packages have been split up all fall camp and during summer 7-on-7s. A lot of high school coaches don't want to disclose who's starting where, especially at the QB position, because of what type of packages and things that they're running. They feel like it'll give something away, and I figured Coach Tapp does not want Brian Pankey, who's a defensive coach, knowing which quarterback is going to be starting, because he could come out here in a spread, he could come out here in a wing tee.
Captains are on the field. Harriman calls it in the air. It looks as if the Blue Devils have won the toss. They have, and they will defer to the second half, so Kingston will get the ball to start this football game. We know that Harriman likes running multiple sets on offense. We're probably going to see some wing tee. They might line it up and spread it out some. Kingston, we might see a little bit of the same thing, some wing tee. They might spread it out around a little bit. But my question to you is, as we look into the sky, we see some darkness in the clouds as they are coming in and approaching Roane County and this Kingston field here. So does that change the game plan on the fly for either of these coaches?
No. Brian Pankey's always ran the football, and we all know Coach Tapp has always ran the football. So the game plan won't change at all for either squad. And I know Kingston was a little banged up a little bit at quarterback, just like Harriman. So watch for the running game. It'll play a big factor tonight.
And now you say that they're going to run the football. Both teams are probably going to run the football. This might be a short game tonight. We don't know. But my question now is, this rain could come in. It could wet this field. They say that that is a great equalizer between teams. Who do you think that benefits more?
Well, both teams really, Aaron. Whoever plays the best defense in a wet field will come out on top, and whoever has less turnovers. And both squads, historically speaking, do not fumble the ball very much. So look for a Kingston team who looks to be a little bit bigger, maybe a little bit stronger, with definitely more personnel, will be running the ball and making a lot of substitutions, because the heat will be a factor. It's not that hot, but definitely keep your eye open for some cramps.
One thing that I have observed, and being in sports and watching football, is that if a team gets a slow start at the beginning of the season, maybe a loss that they weren't supposed to lose, sometimes it can cause them to have maybe a season-long hangover. Last year in this game, Kingston came out as they had a lot of momentum going into that season. Coach Brian Pankey had turned this thing around for Kingston, got it going in the right direction, and then they come out first game of the year and lose on that last-second touchdown to Harriman, a rival team. And it's not only that, but for Kingston, you're a 3A team and you got beat by a 1A team. That's got to hurt your pride a little bit. And Kingston struggled to start the season last year before turning it on finally towards the end of the season. Do you buy into the fact that you're playing a rivalry game to start the year and it could have big implications for the rest of your season?
Well, you never want to start the season slow, but you never want to lose to a rival. So this is one of the better rivalry games in East Tennessee, and traditionally if Harriman beats Kingston, then Harriman usually has a big year. Unlike last year, they started slowing down, and I think a big factor was that taking injuries and taking a very physical couple ball games like Kingston last year had a late impact on Harriman. Harriman learned from it and got better towards the end of the season. So, like I said, Kingston has one of the strongest histories in East Tennessee with state championships under coaching legends like Jess Plemons and several championship appearances under Jim Hoot Gibson and Vic Keene. For 40 years, Kingston was a premier program in East Tennessee, and Brian Pankey is trying to get them back on that. And Harriman wants this game bad.
They certainly do. We're getting ready to kick it off in our Ogle, Elrod, and Beryl Channel 12 high school football game of the week. It's Harriman, it's Kingston. Kicking the football off for Harriman is Adam Connor, and back deep to receive for Kingston, trying to get a number. He's crouched down on me. Looks like Aaron McKinney. So here's the kickoff. It's a short one, and the ball is dropped at the 36-yard line, and that is where Kingston will take over, and that's Landon Diggs recovering the football. So Kingston with really good field position to start this football game, and I heard the public address announcer saying that was an onside kick. I think it was just a bad kick.
And it was a bad kick. Harriman definitely didn't want that. I could see it all over Coach Tapp's face. Kingston got good field position here. Look for them to try to capitalize early.
So the Yellow Jackets have it at the 38-yard line as we see our starting quarterback for Kingston. It's going to be Kane Collins, just a sophomore, and a lefty to run this offense for the Yellow Jackets. Man in motion, and here's Connor with a keeper. Big yardage, 50 to the 40. He's tripped up, and he's still going to the 20, to the 10, maybe the 11 before he's finally brought down, and that's Kylan Love on that stop, but wow.
Big stiff arm, Aaron. Big stiff arm. That was a great run, great vision by that young man. He busted it right up the gut and kept it.
Just like that. That is a 51-yard gain, and Kingston is in business at the 11-yard line. And we knew that Kingston was going to run the football. Run a little, looked like a zone read there.
It's an interesting formation. It's kind of a spread option type with a little wing in it. That's hard to defend. They've got one tight end in right now and two backs in the backfield.
And that brings up a Hammers first down for the Yellow Jackets. Collins takes a snap. This time he will hand it off, and having none of that is Harriman, and that is Elijah Hill on the carry.
Great job by the Harriman defensive line, getting some pressure on that. That's what you want when you play an option team. If you can get some penetration in the A-gaps, that really has an impact.
That puts the ball back around the 15-yard line, so we will call it 2nd and 14. You get into the red zone, you got to capitalize right here.
You do, and Harriman coming out in the 50 defense. That is a defense that is designed to stop the option. So look for Kingston to continue to do what they do, but look for the throw.
So Collins going to set up again. He's got a man in motion, and he's going to hand it off around the left side, running towards the end zone, diving. Does he get in? He does. Touchdown, Kingston. On the right, on the run that time was Marcus Rose. Took a jet sweep handoff just right around the left side and outran everybody.
Great job by the Harriman offensive line and the Harriman wingback to get a good chip block on number 25 for the long gain.
He had to dive for that end zone. That was a good run that time.
It really was. I'm impressed with this quarterback right now, Aaron. You said he was a sophomore?
Just a sophomore.
Wow, impressive.
In to attempt the extra point for Kingston is Toby Hopkins. And it is up, and it's good. Actually, that's Preston Allen.
You couldn't ask for a better start for Kingston. That was a great job by the young quarterback in there, leading that team down. How many possessions was that, 2 or 3?
That was only one possession, so, 3 plays, I believe.
Three
so,
plays.
All right, so let's take a –
support community here.
James Gibson here for the Ogle, Elrod, and Brill High School football game of the week. Kicking off for Kingston now as the Yellow Jackets lead at 7-0. Here's Harriman, and the ball is fumbled but picked up by Bryson Goodman, and Goodman gets it up to about the 31-yard line, and that's where Harriman will take over.
Pretty good field position for Harriman starting off here. Let's see how they respond to the early score by Kingston.
So Kingston started at the 38-yard line. Harriman will start at the 31. So, yeah, pretty good field position to start for both of these teams. 10:50 is remaining in this first quarter, as it is Kingston 7, Harriman 0. And Kylan Love gets the start at quarterback. Wing T. And here's Goodman with the handoff going around the right side. Breaks a couple tackles, gets it up past the 40-yard line. We'll see where they spot it. That might be enough for a Hammers first down.
That was a good run, good second effort there by that young man. Good blocking by the Harriman offensive line. You see those old submarine blocks. It's classic Travis Tapp. And had a really good impact there on the Kingston defensive line.
They're going to call him out at the 40-yard line, which will bring up 2nd and 2. So Harriman not intimidated, even by that early score from Kingston. Coming out, running, playing hard, blocking hard. We'll see if they can match it. And Kylan Love, again, the quarterback. Bradley Frost, who might have gotten the start tonight, was injured. Here's a handoff right up the middle. And stopped at about the 45-yard line. That time it looked like Dylan Coca.
Ethan Reed's helmet's coming off, so he's going to have to step out of play. But Harriman's just coming right at you. We're saying, hey, we ain't scared of you. We're coming right at you.
And that's actually Coca's helmet that came off, the guy who ran the ball. But he was able to get it up to the 46-yard line, which is enough for a Hammers first down. That's just some hard running. And that helmet didn't come out till the very end. Oh, 2 helmets came off. So, yeah, you were right. Ethan Reed's helmet came off as well. Love under center, man in motion, and Love falls down.
Good job getting back on the ball.
And that's just a loss of 1. Bring up 2nd and 11. But again, negative plays on first down can be drive killers.
Absolutely. You never want that to happen. But no harm, no foul. Loss of 1 yard. The way that Harriman's running the ball right now, they're not intimidated. They're coming right at them.
So Ethan Reed and Dylan Coca will both come back into the game after having to sit out a play for losing a helmet. Harriman back in that wing T set.
Little confusion.
Play clock's under 10, man in motion. Gets the handoff, that's Goodman. Going around the right side, spins forward. Got the yard back that was lost, but that's all.
Hard running, but just the blocking. They had some missed assignments up front. They look like they're a little winded right here, so they're going to have to dig down deep for this third down conversion.
Does that confusion, now you played on the line, does the confusion, maybe late getting a play started, does that affect the lineman at all, having to be down in that stance?
Absolutely. And Kingston, Vic King is, like I said, a defensive coach, and he's played against this type of offense a lot. And if you can move around a little bit up front, it does confuse the offensive line.
So here's Harriman with 3rd and 10 at the Blue Devil 46-yard line. Love under center. Sends a man in motion. He's going to pass this time. No, he's going to tuck it and run. Gets it to the 50, to the 49, and that is all. Kylan Love looked like on the stop there was Preston Quiet. So now Harriman's in a position here where they're probably going to have to punt this ball back, give it to this Kingston offense that just went and scored in 3 plays.
Yeah, but it is a field position game with 2 running top programs here, so I would definitely kick the ball here and hope for some good field position. I would not kick it to the kicker. I'd kick it to the corner.
It's Thomas Brown in to punt this away for Harriman. And that is spinner. And it is bobbled, though, by Kingston's Marcus Rose. Able to fall on it. So you were right when you said kicked it right to him. Maybe it had an odd spin. He wasn't used to catching a football like that, but bobbled it and had to fall on it.
It's kind of a line drive and fell right in front of him, but Kingston's lucky that that didn't bounce into one of the Harriman players.
Yeah, that thing came down. It had a spin like a missile.
Harriman back out into the 50 defense. Let's see if that has any kind of impact.
Hammers first down here for Kingston. Back in at quarterback, Kane Collins calling out the play. Shotgun formation, man in motion. Does get the handoff this time. Stiff arm, and he is fighting for yardage. Gets it out to about the 24-yard line, and that time on the carry was Elijah Hill.
Good job by the Kingston offensive line. Big right tackle, pushing pretty hard down in there. If Kingston could just keep the offensive line pushing forward, you might see another big gain here.
Gain of about 2.5 on that one, so we'll call it 2nd and 7. That play didn't look like it was going for anything, but able to pick up positive yardage, and it's a grind, especially when you're a running football team. So here's Collins under center now. Handoff goes up the middle for a short gain. And that one goes to Hunter Brackett.
Good job by Abram Godsey of Harriman, number 55. He came down in there good for a good solid tackle.
So now Harriman with an opportunity to maybe pick up a 3-and-out here. Kingston's got 4 yards to go.
Jet sweep's been big so far. Option.
Yep. Collins pitches out, and we got a short yardage here. Looked like Kylan Love back there to make the tackle along with Coca.
Dylan on the stop. It's 4th and 2.
And so Harriman was able to get that stop. So now Kingston will have to punt the football away as well. Back deep to receive for Harriman. They're going to send Love back, but behind Love, they're going to have Goodman. As your punter is also your kicker for Kingston, Preston Allen.
Harriman has a opportunity here for a big return.
And the Yellow Jackets want a timeout. It's 7-0, 6:05 left to go in this one in the first quarter. It's the Ogle Elrod and Brill high school football game of the week.
Planning a funeral can be difficult at best, but it can be a lot easier if you work with people who care. That's Davis Funeral Home in Harriman and Wartburg. Davis Funeral Home gives attention to every detail, ensuring your loved ones will be remembered with honor and integrity. Davis Funeral Home works very hard to give you the most professional service possible. Davis Funeral Homes, Morgan Avenue in Harriman and Old Mill Road in Wartburg. Davis Funeral Homes, people who care.
Out of the timeout, here is the punt. It's a spiral, and Goodman's just going to let it bounce, and it's going to be downed at the Harriman 33-yard line, and that's where the Blue Devils will take over. You're tuned in to the Ogle Elrod and Brill High School Football Game of the Week right here on BBB TV, Channel 12. Aaron Harvey, James Gibson bringing you the action. If you're just joining us, Kingston got possession of the football first after Harriman won the toss and deferred. Took 3 plays to find the end zone, and they lead this one 7-0 as Harriman has the football now at the Blue Devil 33-yard line.
I know Coach Tapp is trying to attack this 4-3 defense with a run game, and I don't blame him. With them being compacted like that, 4-3 could be exposed.
Man in motion. Love does hand the football off, and he's dropped for nothing. That time it's Green Jr., Michael Green Jr. on the carry, and he's stuffed. And it looked like helping stuff that was Bradley Lurie, a senior on this Kingston football team.
Well, I think senior would be proud of junior right there. That was a great job sticking his head in there and making that contact and a good tackle.
No gain on the play. Brings up 2nd and 10. 2 men in motion. That's going to be a flag. A good pickup that time by Harriman's Green Jr. Kingston saying that there was a fumble on the play. I don't think the officials think that, though. So we're about to see a 5-yard penalty here.
Little confusion by Harriman. It's first game of the year. Nerves are high. It's Harriman versus Kingston.
Illegal
So they just need to settle down a little bit.
And you wonder, that big long gain that went for 52 yards to start this one for Kingston, you wonder if maybe that was Harriman's nerves a little bit.
Oh, absolutely. It's like I said, it's Kingston versus Harriman. Harriman has 385 kids in their school, and Kingston has 697. That's a big difference.
That's almost double. Kingston almost has double what Harriman does.
Mm-hmm.
Coach Tapp changing the package up. We might see a spread formation for the first time in this game.
2nd and long. Harriman's quarterback was slinging the ball pretty well in warm-ups.
He didn't start the season at quarterback last year. Bradley Frost did, but he did play a lot last year. He's got a pistol set, 4 wideouts, and here's Love. He is going to roll around the right side and look downfield. No, he's going to tuck it and run. gets to the 30, makes a man miss, gets to the 40, runs out of bounds, close to the first down. We'll have to see where they mark it.
Good stiff arm by number 7.
And Love, they're going to give him the 41-yard line, so he's going to be 2 yards shy of the first down, but made up 13. Well, it had to go 15, got it 13. And that's when you have an athlete like Love who can run, you can do that by spreading the football out.
You sure can, but you got to follow up by actually throwing the football. So nobody was open there. Kingston's defense did a really good job covering the Harriman wide receivers.
Does Kingston put a spy on Love?
I would. I would hope they would.
So here's Love, spread formation, 2 receivers to the left, and they're going to hand it up to Coca going up the middle. He's got the Hammers first down and more.
Big run.
Finally able to get him down. Looked like on the play, Landon Diggs, but not before that Hammers first down.
Tough running by the Harriman running back there. He's got to secure that football. He's getting a little loose with it, as you see there. Kingston's going to be swiping at that, so he cannot turn the ball over.
Got 5 minutes left to go in this first quarter. Harriman trails 7-0, but they are driving.
Hands on the hips for Kingston.
And Harriman's got to take a timeout, so we'll do the same thing. This is the Ogle Elrod and Brill High School Football Game of the Week.
It's laundry night.
Dishwasher needs to run.
And the Hot Water Wars. A Renai tankless water heater gives you an endless supply of hot water for everything you need to do. Renai, hot water for all.
Harriman had to take a timeout. They've got the football at the 46-yard line. Hammers 1st and 10. Here's Love. Quarterback snap. He fakes the handoff, keeps it himself, goes up the middle, and gets it across midfield.
And that's what an athlete will do you at the quarterback position. He is a really good-looking athlete. He just picked up 5 out of nothing.
And that 5 brings up 2nd and 5. It's a long 5, but it is 2nd and 5. So Harriman coming out of that wing T formation, spreading this thing out. They're having some success running the football. Pistol set now. Coca in the backfield. 2 wideouts to the right, 1 to the left. Love going to keep it again, and this time Kingston's having none of it.
Harriman had numbers, but they lost the battle up front. Kingston was only sending 4 defensive linemen and just won the battle.
Kingston's got a good-looking defensive line, don't they?
They really do. They really do. I'm more impressed with their skill positions. They are. It's going to be hard to throw on Kingston this year.
Well, we've seen it already. Harriman has dropped back to pass. They just haven't thrown the ball yet.
No wide receivers open.
And I just saw a flash of lightning. I'm not telling anybody, though. So here's Love with the snap. Oh, there's a throw. And it goes to Goodman, and he's going to be stopped short of the first down, and the ball comes out.
Tackled by Landon Diggs.
He took a big hit, too. It was tough running by number 4.
So Harriman gets the fumble recovery. Let's see where they mark this thing. It's going to be just shy of the first down. This right here is where it gets a little bit iffy. Do you kick this one or do you keep it going?
I'm going for it right here. I mean, you have nothing to lose. I'm going for it here, and the way your running game's been, I'm running the ball.
Coca
right
is a big back. This might be a fullback dive.
Kingston comes out in the 50.
That's exactly what it is, and I don't think so. I don't think so. He's going to be short.
He stopped.
He lost maybe 6 inches on the play. And so now we have a turnover on downs.
That's a testament to that big defensive line that you was just bragging about for Kingston. They stuffed it and got penetration heavy.
They knew what was coming, and kind of it seemed like maybe Harriman hesitated a little bit. I thought maybe they would try to draw them off sides. So we've got an update to a score. Oneida and Oliver Springs tied at Goose Egg after 1. That is a slobber knocker. They say it's a little sloppy. So here is the Hammers' first down. It's a handoff. Goodman gets the tackle for Harriman, and Elijah Hill gets the carry. Good pickup of about 6 yards there to start this drive.
Kingston come out under center in the wing tee, and they're just saying, hey, we're going to run at you. We know you're feeling it a little bit, and we're going to run right at you.
And for these smaller schools, and Kingston's kind of a smaller school in the grand scheme of things, but Harriman's really a smaller school. You got some of these guys that might be playing both ways.
Oh, absolutely. Iron Man football.
Here's Collins under center, hands it off up the middle. Short gain on the play. Well, I say short gain. That's Brackett picks up about 4, which will bring up 3rd and short, maybe just 1. And Coca comes up from the linebacker position to get that tackle.
And this is what Kingston wants. It's 3 yards and a cloud of dust right there, and they're just running at them saying, hey, we're going to run it right at you and see if you can stop it.
Kingston needs a yard. Collins on the quarterback keeper. He's definitely got it. Gets it out to the 44-yard line. That is 1 yard more than he needed and brings up the Hammers' first down.
Harriman defensive line was standing up. You can tell they're feeling it a little bit, having to play both ways. They stood up and drove off the ball. They got to get lower.
One thing, too, you see these dark clouds rolling in. You know that there's probably some moisture somewhere, some precipitation somewhere. And speaking of which, Coalfield-Wartburg, we talked about earlier in the pregame, is on a weather delay, so that game still hasn't started yet. Here's Collins with a handoff, and with a good run around the right side, here's Hill, and Hill picks up a huge gain, and he's hit out of bounds. That might have been a late hit.
That was a great run. Good job by the big offensive lineman pulling on that. You had 2, the guard and the tackle pulling. Getting a lead block on that cornerback. That's a great job by the Kingston offensive line, and a good run by number 13.
Yeah, that was a late hit out of bounds, too. So Harriman lucky that's
jet press.
Can't beat yourself.
Yeah, Brad Jones telling us that's momentum. So Hammers first down for Kingston. They've got it at the 33-yard line, the Harriman 33. Here's Collins rolling around the left side. He looks like he wants to throw it. The lefty has a pass complete. Love on the tackle, but not before Zane Ryans pulls that one down for a pickup of 13. And we've got another Hammers first down.
Good job by the little quarterback. He rolled out, almost got outside of contain from the defensive end. He was wide open, good completion.
And that's what happens when you run. You can lull a defense to sleep a little bit. So fakes the handoff, does Collins, rolls around the left side. He's a lefty, and so he goes around the left side and throws that football. A great play there by Collins. So here's the Hammers first down. Kingston now into the red zone. Handoff going around the right side. He's going to be stopped short. And we want to tell you about Trevin Kirkpatrick.
That was a great job by him. He got low, kept his shoulders low, and had some penetration and made a one-handed tackle. This is a good job.
Yeah, that was quiet on the carry. Pickup of 1.
Hands on the hips for Harriman. They're feeling it.
Under a minute left to go in this one, 40 seconds to be exact. Kingston up 7-0, threatening in Harriman territory. Now here's Collins under center. Takes the snap, rolls around his right side, option play, does get the pitch, but this one is going nowhere in a hurry. Pitches it out to Elijah Hill, and Hill with a big loss.
Not a good decision by the young quarterback there. He should have kept it and tried to pick up what he could.
Well, the one thing that I see, and you've coached offense, so you might agree with me here, is he threw that backwards He tossed that backwards about 5 yards, and that's too far.
That's too far. You never really want to do that, especially when you're on this side of the field running towards the sideline. That's just an early mistake by a young quarterback.
We're 25% of the way through this one. Kingston leads at 7-0. This is the Ogle, Elrod, and Burrell High School football game of the week.
TV ad. Hammer stores are still offering up-to-the-minute fashions for men and women.
I'm sorry.
The famous label outdoor wear and boots, area rugs, and exciting purchases. All at Hammer's famous low price.
Race on down!
The hotter the days, the hotter the sales at Ray Varner Ford in Clinton. Like this 2012 Mitsubishi Fuso box truck, one owner, $14,995. 2016 Ford Transit Connect cargo van, $16,988. Ray Varner Ford in Clinton. The hotter the days, the hotter the sales at Ray Varner Ford in Clinton. I have a 2015 F-150 Super Cab EcoBoost, low miles, one owner, $22,588. 2013 Nissan cargo van, $6,800. Ray Varner Ford in Clinton.
It is 3rd and a bunch for Kingston. They've got it at the Harriman 26-yard line, but after a big loss, it is about 3rd and 17. So Collins under center for the Yellow Jackets. Takes a snap, fumble on the play, and Hill is just going to have to fall on it. And you had a drive going there that looks so positive for these Yellow Jackets. And takes a snap, fumble on the play, and Hill is you're in a fringe spot right here. If you're Kingston, you're going to have to go for this, right?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's no harm, no foul. You can either pick up the first or you're going to have good field position either way, and Harriman's offense isn't quite in Kingston right now. So I would let's see what they do here. I know the jet sweeps look good, but so is the pass, Aaron.
So Kingston is going to have to get it inside the 9-yard line for a first down. They might just toss this one up to the end zone and see what happens.
Watch that left guard. Looks like he's pulling.
Collins takes the snap. And
He's
that's
there.
what he's going to do. He's going to heave it, and
Touchdown.
wide open there is Hunter Brackett. Touchdown, Kingston. And it looked like Harriman wasn't expecting it.
They weren't. There was some confusion in the backside. Looks like the corner thought he was going to have safety help, and the safety thought he was going to have corner help. So it was a little confusion there, but Kingston took advantage of it. Good throw by the young quarterback.
So Preston Allen in to attempt the extra point and try to put Kingston up by 14. The kick is up. It's good. Kingston leads this one 14-0 with 10:27 left to go in the second quarter. We'll be back at kickoff. This is the Ogle, Elrod, and Burrell High School football game of the week. Clock is running through that extra point.
You guys support community here.
Kingston leads this one 14-0 as Preston Allen on to kick for Kingston. And coming up to get it for Harriman and bobbling the snap is Thomas Brown. Or bobbling the return. And he runs backwards, which is not a good idea. There for Kingston, Don Dana takes the returner down beyond the 10-yard line.
That hurts. That hurts bad, Aaron. That's just not a good decision by that young man, and he's getting an earful about it, I guarantee you.
But there is some laundry on the field.
Okay. potential face mask?
Probably, or maybe a horse collar. Because, this year they changed the rule. The horse collar actually,
Dead ball.
well, let's see.
Unsportsmanlike conduct.
Ooh.
The decision-making just kept getting worse for that young man.
That'll be half the distance to the goal, and that'll spot the ball around the 4-yard line. But as we were saying, the horse collar now not only contains the actual horse collar around the shoulders, as we get a look at this replay here of the touchdown.
It's a great route, and the safety was nowhere to be found on that. That's unfortunate for Harriman. Great play by number 19, the wide receiver for Kingston. Like I said earlier, the skill position for Kingston this year is very talented.
Got some whistles and a timeout. As the Blue Devils want to talk about it, I don't blame them. We'll take a timeout as well. This is the Ogle, Elrod, and Brill High School football game of the week.
Tennessee. Now there are 5 stores and there's always something new. Like in Hammer's popular ladies boutique department, you'll find the lowest price possible on new arrivals every week. Find similar deals in the men's department and the expanded rug department. Plus, special purchases always offer surprise savings. You never know what you'll find next at Hammer's.
Back in Kingston, Harriman has it for a Hammers first down. Love under center. Not a lot of room to work with. And here's a handoff, and it's going for not much.
He tried to keep taking it outside, and if he could have bounced inside on that, he would have picked up a little bit more. But when you're on that close of the end zone, you're going to have to really kind of push it up in there and not run so much outside.
That was Green on the carry, and that'll bring up 2nd and 10. Harriman with a long way to go, down 2 scores with 9:40 left to go in this half. So we know there's some weather in the area, but, we were looking out towards the Kingston steam plant, and we were seeing a lot of darkness. It's moved over. I think this is going to miss us. So here's a snap.
Good run.
And a great run by Goodman. And he slams the ball down. Looks like they're going to let the officials might let that one go.
I've been really impressed with Dante Emmons so far, not only at the defensive back position, but at the wide receiver position too. He looks like a special athlete.
Bryson Goodman picks up 15 to bring up the Hammers first down, and now Harriman has a little bit more room to work with.
It's a great run. The offensive line got fired up and really got a good push, opened up a hole for him.
Love under center, sends a man in motion. That's Goodman, and he drops the football.
Fumble on the play.
I'm liking what I see out of Harriman right now. Yeah, they're making some mistakes, but that offensive line is fired up right now.
Well, Harriman took a timeout after that not so good return. They were backed up on their own 4-yard line. Coach Tapp wants a timeout. He might have chewed some people out and got them fired up a little bit.
I guarantee you.
So Love back under center. 2nd and 9. Handoff stopped in the backfield. That time with the carry, it's Travis Frazier. And we'll give credit to Trey Schultz, a senior for this Kingston football team.
Kingston's doing a good job of flowing to the football. If Harriman can come back with some kind of a counter, they could pick up a big gain there.
3rd and 9. Harriman trying to keep this drive going as we've reached under 8 minutes to go in the second quarter. And then here's a pass by Love. It's caught, still on his feet now, and then drug out of bounds before he can get the first down is Thomas Brown.
Not a bad play. Not a bad play, and a good job by number 6. Running for extra yards. He was fighting. He's trying to make up for that early mistake he had on the kickoff return.
Are you surprised to see Harriman go back into the wing formation?
No, because that's Travis Tapp. When things get rough, you go back to what you know, and that's running the football. And I don't blame him because Kingston's in a 4-man front, and that's what Travis Tapp likes to run on.
So back deep to receive for Kingston is Marcus Rose, excuse me. Not a bad punt, a really good punt, actually. Rose is going to let it go, and it's going to die at the Kingston 33-yard line. Great punt there.
Great punt. And Harriman's kind of walking around on the field, on and off the field. Kingston's trotting out, and this is where depth plays a big factor in these early games. And if you notice, Kingston has the sideline totally covered, and Harriman not so much, and that's anticipated with a smaller school. So you can tell Harriman's feeling a little bit.
That's a net 40-yard punt.
You can't beat that in high school football.
Especially when you've got a Class A punter. So Hammer's first down for Kingston here as the Yellow Jackets have it, as we said, at the 33-yard line. Collins fakes the handoff. Actually does hand it off up the middle.
Now this is Brian Pankey football here. Like I said, 3 yards in a cloud of dust. They're running right at Harriman, going to get those big defensive linemen for Harriman, getting wore down, standing up, and that's when big plays start to happen.
Brackett on the carry that time, picks up about 3 yards, brings up 2nd and 7 for the Yellow Jackets. And time just ticking away off of this clock. Man, it feels like this game just started.
That's what happens when you have 2 running programs.
Collins under center, wing T formation, sends a man in motion and hands the ball off. And that's going for nothing. And that's Hill with a carry. And there's a flag on the play at about the 35-yard line. We'll wait to see what Mr. Whitehat has to say. Holding on the Yellow Jackets. So that'll push the ball back to about the 25-yard line and bring up 2nd and 18.
Malachi Ray right there, number 54 for Harriman. It's not going to pick up on the stat sheet, but he made that play. He bolted in there and made some penetration, and that's what happened. He made the play.
So now, 2nd and long for Kingston. Collins sends a man in motion. Now he's going to roll out to his left side and throw the ball way downfield, and it's caught again for another Hammers touchdown. And it's Rose with the catch, and he comes up a little hobbly.
Single coverage, good route, good throw. I've really been impressed with this young quarterback for Kingston. Single coverage, you're going to throw it all day.
That's a 30-yard pickup on that pass play. And again, you run, you lull the defense to sleep, and then you roll out and make a big play. So Hammer's first down for the Yellow Jackets. Collins under center. And hands the ball off, going around the right side. Picks up a good chunk of yards there, does Elijah Hill.
Follow the guards. Kingston is pulling the guards almost every run play, and if Harriman could key on those guards, they're going to take them right where the football's at. And 54 for Harriman is doing a really good job of that. If he can rally the troops, they could slow down this Kingston offense.
Malachi Ray is who you are referring to for Harriman. Pickup of 4 brings up 2nd and 6 for the Yellow Jackets.
Harriman giving away the A-gaps.
And Kingston, a handoff going around the right side. There's a flag on the play, but that was Hunter Brackett picking up some really good yardage. And we've got a hold on Kingston, so their second penalty in a row is a hold. Well, I say the second in a row. And watching the replay there, you see that hold.
Yeah, anytime the running back starts kicking it out on the outside, of the offensive line don't move his feet, you start to have those reaches like that. And That was an unfortunate play there for Kingston.
So from the spot, that's a 10-yard penalty, and will bring up 2nd and 13. Kingston in a hole again, but they've been able to climb their way out of the holes.
They have. Harriman needs to capitalize on this and get a big stop here and have a 3rd and long. That could rejuvenate this Harriman defense.
5 minutes to play in this first half. Kingston leads it 14-0. Collins under center, sends a man in motion. Handoff goes up the middle to Brackett. Brackett's got a lot of running room. Gets it up to close to the 35-yard line, and that will bring up 3rd and short for Kingston.
Tackled by number 7, Love.
Kylan Love coming up from his safety position to make that play. And just shy of the 35-yard line was Brackett, so it'll bring up 3rd and 5 for the Yellow Jackets.
You had no push by the Harriman defensive front right there, and Kingston capitalized on it with a big run. They're going to have to stay low and really get a push in that 50 defense.
3rd and 4. Handoff going,
Good
stopped
job.
in the backfield. That one went to Hill, and Abram Godzi got back in the backfield and stopped that one from going anywhere.
Great play by that young man. And now you got 4th and what, 5?
4th and more than that.
4th and 6.
4th and 6.
Good job at 55. He really wanted that. Coming in on defensive line, took on the lead blocker and made the tackle.
So now Kingston they're in a position here where they've had a lot of success moving the football. They know Harriman gets it after or to start the 3rd quarter. Looks like the Yellow Jackets are just going to let this time run down on the play clock and call timeout to figure out what to do. And that's what they're going to do. Kingston takes the timeout. They lead this one 14-0. This is the Ogle, Elrod, and Burrell High School Football Game of the Week.
Star Physical Therapy is proud to team up with Roane County Family
Really?
Practice to provide
Again? Hey, if I had automotive style suspension like the new Simplicity, plus a free floating mower deck for the best cut, I'd be all that too.
Well,
And if I had the expertise and advice of his Simplicity dealer, maybe he'd look forward to hanging out with me.
you don't have a Simplicity dealership.
Good point. Huh.
SL Bowman & Sons, 524 North Front Street in Rockwood.
Evans Mortuary has been serving the needs of families in and around Roane County since 1976. As established members of our hometown community, we understand the security of dealing with people you know you can trust. We build our reputation on this trust. The Evans family appreciates the confidence the community has expressed in us over the years and will constantly strive to earn that favor. Evans Mortuary, 805 North Gateway.
Field, Kingston with a 4th and 6, electing to go for it here on 4th down. They've come up with a big play here before. Let's see what happens. 3:21 left to play in the first half. And Kingston just tries to draw Harriman off sides. 2 players moved at the same time. It'd be interesting to see what the officials do here. What do you think?
I'd say offense right here. False start.
That's a 5-yard penalty, which will bring up 4th and 11. And now I believe the Yellow Jackets will probably punt this one away.
They should, and that's a big stop for Harriman. That keeps them in this ball game. Kingston could have very easily scored and turned that into 21 points, and that's a hard deficit to come back from. So Harriman has got the momentum here. Let's see if they capitalize with 3:21 left.
So let's see what they're going to do. Now they're going to bring in the punt team. A little late on that.
They were, and I'm
maybe trying to see what Harriman was going to set up in.
Yeah, and Kingston being in a tight formation here, trying to keep the block. Number 4, the punt returner for Harriman's got to make a smart decision here.
So Preston Allen to punt this one away for Kingston. It's almost blocked. So Goodman on the return. It's a one-hopper, picks it up, and takes it around the left side for a short gain. You said he had to make a good decision. How do you feel about players taking that on a one-hop?
Never. You always want to catch the ball inside the 15 in high school football. You can make a fair catch, but don't let it hit the ground because it could land on the 1-yard line and stifle your offense like it did earlier. So let's see if Harriman capitalizes on this opportunity they have to get back in this ball game. I'd like to see them come out in some spread and utilize that athletic quarterback and see if they can pick up a couple big gains.
Harriman probably is going to need to come out in the spread because they don't have much time left. And if Harriman can get a quick score here, they'll get the ball coming out of halftime. So Love in shotgun formation keeps it going up the middle, and he is brought down. Love, a powerful run there.
Zone read call there. Not a bad call. The flow of the linebackers was showing Coach Tapp that could be there. Kingston just making a good play.
Will Moore got the stop for the Yellow Jackets. Pickup of 5 will bring up 2nd and 5. And the clock runs. 2.5 minutes left to go in this half. If you're Harriman, you're in a position where you kind of want to go fast, but you don't want to go too fast because you don't want to give Kingston a chance to score if they stop you. Love keeps it going up the middle again. Picks up a couple more yards.
Brought down by number 6, Schultz.
3rd and short. Let's see what the decision making is here.
That's a long 2 or a short 3.
I like the aggressiveness out of the quarterback. He's saying, hey, give me that ball and I'm going to make something happen. But the Kingston linebackers are capitalizing on him keeping that ball.
Love is a senior. He's been there, and he wants to put the team on his back right now. And Harriman wants to talk about it. They take a timeout. 1:42 left to go in this first half. This is the Ogle Elrod and Brill High School football game of the week.
You guys support community here.
So it is 3rd and 2. Harriman coming out in a pistol set. Love quarterback gets the snap, and the handoff does go to the fullback. Here's Coca. And
he's got it.
He does. That is a pickup of about 4 will be enough for the Hammers' first down. Out in a pistol set.
He's really lowered that head and ran through one good tackle there.
And now the clock is running again as we have under a minute and a half to go in this half. Love, shotgun formation, has a man in motion. Jet sweep going around the right side for Harriman. Makes a couple guys miss, and now what a powerful run. That time is Michael Green Jr.
He just refused to go down. He is really a good hard runner. I like this kid.
Landon Diggs there for Kingston. Number 9, meet number 9. And that's enough for the Hammers' first down with 1:11 left to go. There's the whistle. Clock starts up again. Love. Man in motion again. Jet sweep again going around the left side. This is Goodman. And a tackle by Kingston's Trey Schultz. And he was also held.
Great job. Was that the defensive end? Looked like it. That was a great job.
Yeah, Trey Schultz coming up from that position. Got tackled, and while he was being tackled, as you see on the replay here, while he's being tackled.
Good job.
Gets the tackle.
And that's the backup quarterback, if I'm not mistaken. The one that looked so good in warm-up, slinging the football.
Also a lefty.
Yes. That's unfortunate for Harriman. That's an interesting play call. They try to get outside to break contain, but the Kingston defensive end really made a great play there.
I think what we're seeing here is Harriman doesn't have a lot of passing plays that they're confident in right now.
Yeah, it's obvious. They're going to have to here, though, with, what is this, third and long? First and long.
Ooh. It's screen pass, goes to Coca. Coca, hard running, steamrolls somebody.
I'm liking this number 5 for Harriman. He is a tough ball player.
Cooper Webb stands in the way of that one and kind of pays for it a little bit, but gets credit for the tackle.
Second, 16.
Still a short play. Interesting play call there, throwing it to a big back out of the backfield there. Now you got trips this side.
This will probably be the last play of the half. We'll see. So here's Love, and just gets a quick out to Goodman, and Goodman has some open field.
Good job.
Gets it to about the 48-yard line, and time will not expire. Harriman had a timeout, it looks like. Coach Travis Tapp out there screaming for it.
0.8 seconds left. Let's see what they do here.
I wonder what Coach Tapp is yelling.
Were they out of timeouts?
I think they're looking, because I was curious about that.
They're having a conversation about it right now. Big number 72, the good defensive lineman and offensive lineman for Kingston, is kind of holding that hand a little bit. He's banged up just a little bit, but he's not coming out of that ball game. I like the toughness.
Bradley Lurie. So we got to pause and play here, and I'm not exactly sure why. But both Kingston and Harriman coming back onto the field. If Harriman had a timeout and able to take it, then it was taken with 0.8 seconds remaining in the half, so Kingston could have. And I guess that's what's going to happen here.
It looks like it. They're having a conversation still, but Harriman's lined up, ready to go, and I don't blame him a bit. Let's see what Harriman chooses to do here. I'd anticipate some kind of a screen play since the lack of deep throws that we've seen so far.
Or a hook and ladder maybe. And Harriman's not going to get the snap off. So what happened was Harriman tried to call a timeout. They didn't have a timeout. And so they wound the clock. The officials did. Harriman only had 0.8 seconds to get a play off. They didn't get it off. So that is the end of the half. Now Harriman will have it when we start the third quarter, but Kingston leads this one going into halftime 14-0 here at Kingston as you're tuned in to the Ogle Elrod and Brill High School football game of the week. Was it called?
Hi, I'm Nikki.
And I'm Meg.
And this is your Scoreboard Snack Attack.
And today we're going to show you how to make delicious fried pickles.
Yay!
So for this recipe, you are going to need a milk and egg mixture. So 1 egg and 3/4 cups of milk. You're going to need 1/4 cup of cornstarch. And then you're going to need 1/2 cup of cornmeal, 2 tablespoons of chopped dill, 2 teaspoons of paprika, and the salt and pepper mixture, and of course, your pickles.
So we have 2 inches of canola oil heating up over here on our natural gas cooktop. So that'll get hot real quick, and then we're gonna mix up these ingredients in this dish to make the last phase of our batter for the pickles. We're gonna mix it all up here. You can either do a pinch of the salt and pepper mixture, or you can just pour it all in there like I just did. Either way. Next step is you're gonna take your pickle, dip it in the egg mixture. Good.
Cornstarch.
Back in the egg. Then in your batter mix here, we're gonna get it good and coated. Then we're gonna toss it in the frying oil. Woo!
You're going to fry it until it's nice and golden brown.
And then repeat with as many pickles as you want. So while this is frying up on our natural gas cooktop here, I want Meg to tell you a little bit about her role at ORUD. She's one of our newer employees, and she works in the marketing department. So tell us a little bit about what you do, Meg.
Well, I do a lot of our social media marketing and some of our engagement out in the community, as well as I do a lot of our graphics for our pamphlets and getting sales material together and just making our new brand and new logo look even better than what it already does.
She does it all, guys. If y'all don't follow us on social media, you need to check out our Facebook and our Instagram page. We do all kinds of special promotions on there and let you know what's going on at ORUD.
Oh, that looks so good.
But actually, gas cooktops give you precise temperature control, and that really makes it easy with tackling more difficult or fast-paced recipes, especially like in a restaurant environment or if you're hosting a dinner party or your family for the holidays, something like that where you need stuff done in a more efficient manner. Cooking equipment is perfect for that.
And the great thing about cooking with natural gas is that your cookware lasts longer because less heat is applied over time. So when you have that expensive pot or pan that you have purchased, it will actually cause less wear and tear and it will last you longer.
Now comes the taste test. They're all done and they look crispy and delicious, so let's try.
Okay.
You can have your ranch for a little dip. Perfect. Perfect. Can't even taste it. I put all that salt and pepper mixture in there. It tastes perfect. Don't forget, you can find this and all of our Snack Attack recipes on our website at orud.org. And this has been your Scoreboard Snack Attack.
Back at Dr. Nat Sugarman Field as Harriman's band is on the field. It is Kingston leading this one 14-0 at halftime. Let's just take a minute. And listen to this extraordinary band from Harriman High School.
Back up, they got about 150 members.
And that's the Harriman band. Now, I love bands in high school. Mr. Gibson, love them. And so I'm always excited when we go to cover a game with a team that has a nice band. And I've always been impressed by this Harriman band. And if you're watching this right now and you're listening and you think Harriman's band sounds very good, they do. You're right. But this Kingston band, they take it to a whole nother level. As we were just informed that Kingston's band has 150 members.
It's like I said, it's always been like that with Kingston, and if I'm not mistaken, they've won several championships whenever they have their competitions. And I mean, just look at them; they look like a professional bunch over there. But you got to give it to Harriman. This is a very small band, but they sound amazing.
They do. They sound very good. They always sound very good. We got some scores from down in the area. Coalfield and Wartburg, I understand, is still under a weather delay. It's interesting. We were sitting right here, and I made the comment. I said, I'm not going to tell anybody, but I just saw lightning because it was It was pretty far away, but it was that direction if you're going towards Coalfield. And so they were under a storm delay, and as I understand, still haven't gotten that one started. So it could be like last night, Powell and Greenville. You hate to be Greenville to make that trip all the way to Knoxville and have to wait until 9 to kick that one off, but we'll see what happens. Anderson County up at the half over Clinton. Are you ready for this? 7-0.
Wow, Clinton hanging tough and a very talented Anderson County team, but having to replace a lot of key players in Anderson County, so it might take them a little while to figure things out with them younger players, but I think Anderson County will start to figure it out in this second half. And Clinton, great football coach over there. He's won a lot of ball games in Grace Christian and various other stops that he's been at. So look for Clinton to really start improving.
Coach Randy McCamey taking over that Clinton team and has got them going in the right direction. Hardin Valley in the first quarter. This is the last update I have. Hardin Valley up over Oak Ridge 6-0.
Wow, that is a major development right there with Hardin Valley replacing their coach. But again, Hardin Valley's always got talent over there in the West Knoxville area. Beautiful facilities. They can really attract some players over there. But Oak Ridge, they are loaded with talent. They might have some turnovers early in that ball game. I'm interested to see the second half of that.
You never know what's going to happen when you kick it off. You've got the whole summer, you do the workouts, and then you've got the 7-on-7s you come out and you do in the fall, and then you finally get into your fall camp, and you can't wait to put on the pads and just hit somebody, and you never know what's going to happen. Listen to this. In the second quarter, Loudon 13, Greenback 0.
Wow, that's a big game, and Greenback is loaded with talent. Loudon was supposed to be developing, but Loudon traditionally, again, they're one of the powerhouses of East Tennessee historically, and Kingston and Loudon back in the 70s won many state championships. It basically went down to Maryville, Kingston, and Loudon for who was going to take home the gold ball at the end of the year.
So every time I read one of these scores, like I'm taken aback just a little bit more, and I'm almost about to fall out of my chair. At the half, it is Oliver Springs leading Oneida 7-0.
I can't believe it. Oliver Springs is a tough ball club. Is this at Oliver Springs?
This one is at Oneida.
At Oneida. Coach is having a heart attack up there right now, but again, the second half is big. The first half of these early ball games, a lot of unexpected mistakes and penalties and mental mistakes and turnovers can happen, and the weather's going to play a big part in a lot of these early ball games. So all the weather looked like it was around the Oneida area, so they could have had a lot of rain.
And speaking of that, we've just gotten the word that a lightning strike has been seen here. I saw it.
Not here.
Oh, not here?
Oak Ridge.
Okay, that's in Oak Ridge. See, I saw. I don't know if anybody else saw it. I saw it. It's pretty far away, but I saw it. I guess I'm not going to tell anybody. So Catholic up on Chucky Doak in the second quarter, 34-0. That almost seems unfair. And Knox Catholic making that move from Class 5A to Division II. And I know a lot of people are happy to see that because Oak Ridge last year, a very talented football team, turns it on at the end, gets that win over they beat Fulton, did they not? Right there in the playoffs in the quarterfinals. And then it's looking like, wow, Oak Ridge is probably going to play for a state championship again. And in that semifinals game, Catholic knocks them out of it. The year before, Catholic goes to Division II.
Yeah, and Catholic was loaded then too, but this year Catholic is a different monster. I'm glad they finally made the switch to D2. It's been a long time coming. We played them when I was at Wartburg, played Knox Catholic about 3 years in a row and against the Harrison Smiths of the world. And so since Catholic has moved to D2, they picked up about 6 major recruits from all around the Southeast. And I expect Catholic to be one of the most talented teams in the Southeast this year. And they're going to be a very fun team to watch.
So we'll talk about this a little bit. You graduated from Wartburg. And during your time there, not very successful, but you played against some very successful teams and had an opportunity. Listen to this band.
Yes.
They're trying to drown me out. This is that Kingston band, 150 members strong. You can see them as you look on your screen there. It's just incredible. They've got the flag twirlers, and it is a full band. They've got the outfits. This looks like a small college out there performing.
It looks better than a lot of small colleges. This is one of the best discipline programs for bands in the state of Tennessee. Like I said, they've won a lot of state championships or championships, whatever they call it, band championships. If you walk their hallways and look in their trophy cases, it's band trophy after band trophy for years. So Kingston takes a lot of pride in their band, and I'm glad they did.
So, on the point that I was making, you get to play against some really talented players. What's it like playing against a guy like Harrison Smith?
Harrison Smith was one of the best ball players I ever played against at Wartburg. We never were fortunate enough to beat Knox Catholic, but I also got the pleasure to play against a Randall Cobb, who still plays for the Green Bay Packers at Alcoa. And when I was at Wartburg, we were ranked number 8 in the state, and we got to play Alcoa and knock them off late in the season. It was one of the best wins in Wartburg history, and we played a lot of very good talent, and we got to play against a 5-star recruit and Brandon Warren at Alcoa and various other programs. But Harrison Smith was a different creature. He was one of the most physical players I ever saw. If you watch the Minnesota Vikings, you can see why. He's been about 4 or 5 all-pro seasons, and he's one of the most physical safeties in the NFL, and he came from Knox Catholic. It was unfortunate that Philip Former wasn't able to get him at Tennessee. Him and Randall Cobb both elected to go elsewhere, and that was one of the deciding factors of Philip Former's fate at Tennessee during that time.
But Harrison Smith, a Catholic guy, goes to a Catholic college in Notre Dame. But I got to correct it. You've done so great all night long, and I want to say thank you for being alongside. You know, you're my first choice. You were my first phone call to step up into the booth and do this, but you made an error just now.
Oh, I did.
You did. Randall Cobb does not play for the Packers.
Oh, I'm sorry. My bad. Where's he at now?
He's with the Cowboys now.
Wow.
Yeah. A long-time Green Bay Packer.
Long time.
Caught a lot of passes from Aaron Rodgers. Now, this year, he's making his debut with the Dallas Cowboys.
That's going to be interesting to watch Dak Prescott with
Randall
Cobb
yep.
over there at the wide receiver position. Randall Cobb's one of the best athletes I've ever saw.
Played high school quarterback at Alcoa. Got recruited. He went to Kentucky and didn't play quarterback until a quarterback got hurt and he had to step in and play. He was Mr. Everything for the Kentucky Wildcats. Played quarterback a little bit, was a kickoff returner, punt returner, wide receiver, just did whatever he had to do for them.
He really was, and I was at the Kentucky-Tennessee game his senior year. I believe it was at Knoxville, and he was about the only rival player I've ever heard that had a good clap for him whenever his name was announced. Tennessee fans really liked Randall Cobb and what he stood for and what he's done for East Tennessee, including Harrison Smith. Those two are great examples of what a human being is supposed to be.
And so this band, still impressed by this band. Take a look at that shot on your television screen.
It's beautiful.
I'd like to mention we are streaming live on Facebook as well, so if you have to move away from your television a little bit, you have to go down the road. Don't be driving, but if you are a passenger in that vehicle, you can pull a game up on Facebook, and you can do that all season long by following BBB Communications on Facebook.
I just want to give a quick shout out to Roane County Sheriff's Department and Kingston Police Department. They've done a great job tonight with this atmosphere of keeping everybody safe and maintaining security. Those guys have a hard job, and they're doing a great job.
On top of that, and one thing that we were talking about in pregame is we walked out onto the field. It came pretty heavy rain here earlier today. The field was dry. It's a beautiful field out there.
Kingston has a lot of support in the community, and they get out here and do a lot of work on this field every single day. And look at it. It's beautiful. This is a premier field of anywhere in high school football, and it's been like that as far as I can remember.
So we're waiting for halftime to end. and some other folks are waiting for their games to even get started. We know that Oak Ridge is in a 30-minute delay right now. They're into that 30-minute delay because there was a lightning strike over in Oak Ridge, as Oak Ridge is trailing Hardin Valley right now 6-0. And we think that Wartburg and Coalfield has still yet to begin their opening game of the season because of weather. And that is really close to us. You just go south and you get to Coalfield and you just, you go west and you end up in Oak Ridge. So, I mean, it's all around us, but fortunately, our game is able to stay on the field as far as I know. Some other scores you might find interesting. Bradley Central is up on Farragut 20-14. So there's no, and then here's another one. Carnes, the Beavers, up on Walker Valley 21-14. These scores are blowing my mind. We also had Cloudland is trailing Happy Valley 7-0. That's the last score we had out of there. Gibbs is up on Halls 13-7.
That's a surprise.
Yeah.
There's a lot of potential upsets tonight. This is an upset weekend.
Scott High is up on Cumberland County 7-6. And Ray County up on Carter 14-6. So last night had probably what most people would think a really big upset as Powell takes down Greenville. And then you've got a lot of teams who I would think are probably favored to win tonight, trailing at least midway through their football games.
Well, a lot of times weather plays a big factor in that. If you have lightning delays, it's 30 minutes break in between each lightning strike, and that has a major impact on momentum and your athletes sitting in the hot locker rooms, and it takes all the momentum out. You come out ready to play, and then boom, strike a lightning. You got to go inside for 30 minutes, come back out, warm back up, get back on the field, go to play, boom, another 30-minute delay. That takes all the momentum out of the game. So you can have a lot of upsets in those type situations.
What really stinks about it, in my opinion, is you wait all year long to hit somebody. You wait all year long to go play another game, and then you finally get there. The anticipation is there, and then all of a sudden, bam, you're delayed.
Yeah, it's very frustrating as an athlete and a football coach. It's not always a bad thing early on in the season because of cramps and the heat, but tonight it is not a very hot night, so it is unfortunate, but it is very frustrating as a coach and as an athlete when you have to go inside.
Look at that throw. It's beautiful. I don't think I could have thrown that football that good.
Well, Stephanie might need to come out for football. I guarantee you she's a softball player, Aaron.
I guarantee it. I guarantee it. That was a nice throw.
Hey, quick shout-out to Kingston Middle School softball. They're currently undefeated and doing a great job down there. Joe Presley, a Rockwood graduate who played for my grandfather down there. He's leading that program, and they're turning some heads down there on the middle school level softball.
While you're in the business of giving shout-outs, why don't you give a shout-out to your uncle as well?
Yeah, Chip Ladd, he runs Star Physical Therapy, and he's been a member of this community for 40-plus years. He's been a long-time Kingston PT and a trainer and helped that program out tremendously, and he still does today. He's a graduate down here. He played for my grandfather down here, went to a state championship, got beat by Brentwood Academy, but it's a very talented individual.
The rain has begun here at Kingston, so we're about to see how weather plays into that. Your uncle celebrating his 40th reunion, so we want to say that as well. So we're going to get a quick break. We'll have kickoff for the third quarter when we get back. This is the Ogle, Elrod, and Brill High School Football Game of the Week.
Support community here.
Planning a funeral can be difficult at best, but it can be a lot easier if you work with people who care. That's Davis Funeral Home in Harriman and Wartburg. Davis Funeral Home gives attention to every detail, ensuring your loved ones will be remembered with honor and integrity. Davis Funeral Home works very hard to give you the most professional service possible. Davis Funeral Homes, Morgan Avenue in Harriman and Old Mill Road in Wartburg. Davis Funeral Homes, people who care.
You don't think it'll happen to you twice. First, it was a fire. My agent was right there and helped me rebuild. Then the tornado destroyed everything, again. Both times, my independent agent and auto owners took care of me like someone takes care of family.
For whatever lies ahead, we're always there.
Griffin Insurance in Kingston is your local independent auto owners insurance agency.
The Harriman Utility Board is committed to providing safe and reliable natural gas service to our customers in Harriman and Roane County through the use of safe operational procedures with trained and knowledgeable personnel. An odorant is added to natural gas and maintained to a certain level so that in the event of a gas leak, it can be easily detected. If you smell or suspect a natural gas leak, please call the Harriman Utility Board at 882-3242. We can be reached 24 hours a day, 7 days a week.
The hotter the days, the hotter the sales at Ray Varner Ford in Clinton. Like this 2012 Mitsubishi Fuso box truck, one owner, $14,995. 2016 Ford Transit Connect cargo van, $16,988. Ray Varner Ford in Clinton.
At Dr. Nat Sugarman Field as the second half is getting ready to get underway, and the rain has begun to fall right before halftime ended as Kingston leads this one 14-0. So does the rain change anything?
It doesn't. It doesn't much as long as they can hold on to the football because both teams are run-heavy programs. So let's just see what happens. You might have a couple more turnovers, which could be a very big deciding factor in this ball game with it only being 14-0.
Deep to receive for the Blue Devils.
Bryson Goodman back deep to receive this Preston Allen kickoff as Kingston will give the ball to Harriman to begin this half. And there is the kick. It's actually going to be taken by Harriman's Thomas Brown. And Brown hits the hole in the middle hard, and he's running, fighting for every yard, gets it to the 44-yard line, and that's where Harriman will begin with a Hammers first down. Beautiful return.
Beautiful, and that kicker was hanging on for dear life. Looks like he's riding a cow. Good job. Good run by the kick return.
Begin this half, and there is.
So Harriman has come out looking like they're not quitting yet. It's just 14-0. It's a two-score game. As we see on the replay,
specialist coming up and making a play.
So Kylan Love is your quarterback. Harriman coming out in that spread formation. Goodman, man in motion, gets the handoff going around the right side and cuts it
Good run.
up and makes about 6 yards before he's brought down. The Kingston defender came out and played that well to force the play back inside, but Goodman made a quick cut and got upfield.
Harriman has done a great job of making something out of nothing just by being tough, physical kids. That is a really good job. Offensive line needs to stay a little bit lower on that. But if Harriman can come back with a counter off of those type runs, they could have a big play.
Second and short, 2nd and 4. Goodman, man in motion again. This time Love is going to hand it up the middle to Coca, and Coca is right close to that first down marker. And we'll give credit to Landon Diggs for the tackle. And that is going to be a Hammers first down.
Good job by Harriman. They're being physical right now, making some plays, running through arm tackles.
So last year, Kingston was up 21-6 with under 5 to go in the game. And Harriman came back and won that one. Trying to pull off that same kind of magic. Here is Harriman with the football, 1st and 10. And Love with a keeper picks up about 2 yards, still trying to drive those legs.
Smart decision by the quarterback. He did keep it, and he picked up 2. If he would have handed it off, it would have been a big loss.
Second down, 8.
So 2-yard gain for Love. Brings up 2nd and 8. James Gibson, there is some weather on the horizon.
There is. We could be pretty close to a delay.
We'll keep you posted as we're hearing Wartburg and Coalfield maybe getting set to kick off. Here's Love, drops back to pass, and does pass it right to the first down marker, and he's got a first down. The Hammers' first down, and gets that one complete to Bryson Goodman.
Goodman is a hard-nosed running back wide receiver. I'm liking him. Every time he touches the ball, he stumbles and makes a play. He's picking up a yard no matter what.
So Hammers' first down. Harriman driving this football down the field. They're in Kingston territory. Pistol set for Love now. Takes the snap. He's dropping straight back to pass. And finally gets rid of it.
I'd like to see him just throw that ball away, survive another down, but not a bad play. Number 6 for Harriman, Thomas Brown. He was streaking down the field, was wide open. If they can get the ball to his hands, he could make a big play.
Said that time it looked like Love was looking for Nick Pelfrey to come back and try to get that football, but I'm with you. I think you got to throw that one away. So here's Love's got a man in motion this time. Fakes the handoff. Goes up the middle instead to Coca, and Coca is stopped at the line of scrimmage.
That's a good play call there. If the Harriman offensive line can stay a little bit lower and get a little more push, which they should have there, that's a big play. Not a bad call there by Travis Tabb.
So Kingston might be on the heels of a stop here after giving up some yardage to Harriman. It is 3rd and long. Ball is spotted at the 36-yard line of the Yellow Jackets.
Harriman can't be predictable here.
Love fakes the handoff, goes around the right side. He's going to let it fly. Nobody's home. In the corner of the end zone, that pass falls incomplete, brings up 4th and 10.
Harriman just looks a little uncomfortable throwing the ball, and I'm sure a part of that is losing their starting quarterback to a collarbone injury. Is there any word if he's coming back this year, or is he out for the season?
It's one of those week-by-week things. I tell you what's interesting is he kind of tweaked a leg last year, and they wouldn't let him play quarterback, but he played in the game and actually caught a couple touchdown passes from Love.
He's a good-looking athlete.
So Harriman in a position now, they feel like they got to go for it. So here's Love taking the snap, throws it back across the field, and here's Coca. He's got some running room, and he's going to be stopped at the 28-yard line, and that's going to be shy of a first down. Harriman had everything going to the right except for Coca. That's just a classic throwback. And if Coca could have just made that one tackler miss, and he could not, so credit on that play, Isaac Cox, a junior for this Kingston team, making that open field tackle.
Very secure tackler there. That's a really good play by the cornerback.
So Midway and Rockwood, we are just discovering, is on a lightning delay. That is a game in Roane County.
Yep, it's close. Very close.
It is very close. So here's Kingston. Collins under center, hands off.
Big 71.
Going nowhere. And Chase Johnson gets the tackle and a little bit of pushing. Maybe some junk talking.
Hey, I like it. It's the first game of the year. It's a big county rivalry. A lot of history between these two programs.
The rain is no longer falling. But you know that we have weather everywhere. Everywhere.
Except for right here.
Yep.
Which is nice.
That is nice. So Collins under center now, wing T formation.
Uh-oh. Ball on the ground.
And the ball falls out, and Harriman says they have it. What do you know?
Harriman ball. Harriman ball.
So the Blue Devils take over at the 27-yard line of Kingston, and all of a sudden This is just a 2-score game. It feels like Kingston has dominated as we watch on the replay. Just a bad exchange on the snap.
Yep, and that's probably from a wet ball from the rain from earlier. Harriman's in this thing. If they can punch one in here, it could you could see a different Harriman team.
The Blue Devils have not gone away. They are not going to go away. Love, single back in the backfield in a shotgun formation. Handoff going around the right side. Great run.
Hold on to the ball. Good job. Good run, good vision.
Michael Green Jr., big run.
Now that's what I like to see. When they run that jet sweep like that, if they can get it into an athlete's hands, that's the difference maker in this ball game.
A pickup of 6 off that Hammers first down will bring up 2nd and 4. Love in the pistol now. 2 wideouts on the right, 1 on the left. Coca gets the handoff, goes right in middle. Very short gain, maybe a yard. We'll bring up 3rd and 2.
Good job by Kingston linebacker scraping on the play. Let that defensive line get those offensive linemen out of the way, and you come in and make a play. That's a good job.
Harriman has entered the red zone for the first time in this game. Pistol set again for Love. Handoff goes up the middle to Green, and Green is going to pick up that Hammers first down.
Good job by the Harriman offensive line. You had 3 on 2, and they really got a good push there. But the Harriman running back is really going to have to hold on to that ball. They're getting a little careless with it, and you don't want to see a turnover here in this situation.
That would be a backbreaker for this Harriman team.
But the offensive line for Harriman is fired up right now, so let's see what happens.
6:20 left to go in this third quarter. Harriman trails at 14-0, but they are in striking distance. Handoff goes to Green again up the middle.
Good run.
Green carries once again.
He gets it within the 10-yard line.
Got to get the ball in his hands some more.
Yeah, that's been going to Coca.
Coca is a tough runner. I get it. On a short yardage, you got to get him the ball, but in these type situations, you got to get the ball in the athlete's hands here.
Green is making it happen. Harriman trying to keep this drive alive. They've got it at the 9-yard line, 2nd and 6.
He's got to secure the football.
Green again, handoff up the middle, fighting for yards, not going to get much. Maybe picks up 1 as he meets the Kingston linebacker, Diggs, that time.
He had big eyes there looking at that end zone, and his body was way too high on that. He's got to get lower and really push.
A 3rd and 4 is what we are looking at here.
Show me the fight, Harriman.
Harriman can pick up a first down at around the 4-yard line.
Jet sweep.
Coca. And he stops around the line of scrimmage, and the ball comes out.
Ooh, they caught him down. That was a close play.
That would have been a scoop and score, and we have the luxury of instant replay, which the officials do not. So let's see what happens here. You said secure the football.
Yeah, his momentum will stop.
Yeah,
but still, you're going to have to hold on to that football. That's what I've been noticing now. These Harriman running backs, they've been sort of loose with the ball. You got to hold on high and tight.
So Harriman here is in a position. They've driven down the field. They've gotten into the red zone for the first time in this game. And it looks like Kingston might have figured this spread out a little bit.
Yeah, I'd like to see Harriman try to get outside the tackles a little bit. However they want to achieve that, jet sweep or roll the quarterback out and see if they can't make something happen here in short yardage.
Let's see what the play call is here. And looks Kingston jumped.
I think Harriman moved. Let's see what happens. Looked like a Harriman wide receiver was moving. They're going to talk about it.
They're going to confer. See, you saw a Harriman wideout move, and I saw an encroachment. Dead ball.
Yep.
False start. You saw the correct one.
That's a killer. And it looked like it was on Goodman, too, the very hard runner. He was eyeballing the cornerback instead of the ball.
So 4th and 9 now. I kind of feel like you're going to have to roll out and try to throw the ball into the end zone here.
You're going to have to. That's the only situation you got. And if it is intercepted, it doesn't kill you here. You'll still have field position.
So here's Love, and he rolls to his right.
Run it.
Throws across his body, and that pass is
touchdown! Touchdown! He came down with that ball.
Unbelievable.
Thomas Brown came down with that ball. That was a serious play.
And we're going to have an excessive celebration penalty, I do believe. It's unsportsmanlike conduct because he took his helmet off, and you cannot do that. But an amazing play right there. I thought that pass was going nowhere. I thought it was going to be intercepted.
Ladies and gentlemen, make sure you're watching the replay on this here in a minute. That was an amazing play.
Speaking of that replay, here's Love. He rolls out to his right and throws it across his body. Unbelievable.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 Kingston defenders with 2 Harriman. Great play by that young man. He's ejected out of the ball game for that flagrant foul. You can't do that.
Wow. So that's all. It's well, here's what it is. And Coach Tapp's not going to be happy about this. It's an equipment deal. It's a safety issue. He takes his helmet off to celebrate, and in doing so, it's a safety thing.
Yeah, and there's no argument there for Coach Tapp. He knows. You just can't allow that. That's just not a good, smart play by that young man, and you know he's feeling it right now.
So this penalty gets assessed on the extra point, which is a lot bigger deal in single-A high school football.
That's going to hurt Harriman.
Harriman player has been ejected from the game.
I hope that young man learns from this mistake and comes back. Will he be able to come back next week, Aaron? Will he have to miss the first half of the second game? The whole game. He misses the whole game next week. That's costly.
Very. So Harriman will still line up and try to attempt this extra point with their kicker, Adam Connor. And he does not have the range.
Okay, it was in the end zone.
Extra point attempt is no good.
So that makes the score now 14-6. As we will now take a commercial break as Harriman gets on the board, 14-6, 3:33 left to play in the third quarter. This is the Ogle, Elrod, and Burrell High School Football Game of the Week.
Evans Mortuary has been serving the needs of families in and around Roane County since 1976. As established members of our hometown community, we understand the security of dealing with people you know you can trust. We build our reputation on this trust. The Evans family appreciates the confidence the community has expressed in us over the years and will constantly strive to earn that favor. Evans Mortuary, 805 North Gateway.
Back at Kingston, Harriman has made this a one-score game. It is 14-6, 3:33 left to go in the third quarter. That's a lot of threes, as Harriman will now kick off for only the second time in this football game to the Kingston Yellow Jackets. And you remember the first kick was not a very good one. It was a downward spiral.
And Kingston's moving up to account for that. Let's see if they make a good decision and catch the football in the air.
Adam Connor is the kicker for Harriman, and back deep to receive, you can't really say for Kingston. They've got 3 deep, about even with each other. As we have just learned, Coalfield has scored on Wartburg. That score is 6-0 as that one just got started.
Oh.
And the ball's on the ground for Kingston. Looked like Landon Diggs coming up to catch that football. Didn't do it cleanly. but Kingston able to recover that one, so all over it.
At the 32-yard line.
So it'll be a Hammers first down at the 32-yard line of the Yellow Jackets.
I look for Kingston to come out and run this football and maybe some play actions again. But like I said, I've been really impressed with this young quarterback for Kingston.
Kane Collins, just a sophomore, decides to keep it on this play. That was the one that broke free earlier in the game. And for Harriman, Trevin Kirkpatrick decided he didn't want that one to break long. Collins picks up about 6 yards. We'll bring up 2nd and 4. Kirkpatrick, watch on this replay.
Well, the Kingston offensive line is really getting a big push.
So 2nd and 4. This time Collins lining up in a shotgun. Hands it off, going around the right side, and that play is blown up in the backfield. Elijah Hill got the carry, and now we've got a timeout on the field. As for Harriman, Trevin Kirkpatrick again, and we've got an injured player. And you never want to see this.
Could be a cramp. It looks like that they're stretching him out a little bit. But Harriman coming up with a big play. Perfect timing there, too, because Kingston, the play before, drove him about 10 yards off the ball. So Harriman responded well that very next play, and it looks like it is a cramp right now in the calf area.
A loss of 4 will bring up 3rd and 2 when we get done with this injury. But speaking of cramps, it's the first game of the year. What's it like to get into football shape? Is that difficult to do?
Oh, absolutely. With all the rules and regulations of today's game, it's hard to be able to get out there in the heat and get used to it. But we've got good weather here tonight, so 1 cramp, I'll take that on the first game of the season.
That's Cameron Bassler, a sophomore for this Kingston team, as now we've got 2:37 left to go in the 3rd quarter.
He's an important factor of that Kingston offensive line. He's done a really good job pulling and being the lead blocker on a lot of these outside runs.
So 3rd and 8. Harriman with an opportunity to get a big stop right here. Collins going to line up in the shotgun formation. Well, it's a wing tee. Collins looking to pass. And finally does up the field. That pass is complete. And that is Marcus Rose coming up with a Hammers first down, but there is a flag way back in the backfield. What's that in the area of?
Holding, especially on a quarterback scramble such as that. But Harriman's got to do a better job in the defensive backfield.
You called it. And from the spot of the foul, that's 10 yards. This is going to back Kingston up a lot.
It looked to be on 77 there, pulling the jersey. That's unfortunate because it was behind the play and had no factor on the game. Look at Kingston just continuing to sub in, trying to wear Harriman down.
Got to go to the 42-yard line. The ball is spotted at 20, which means, if my math is correct, this is going to bring up 3rd and 22. But again, Kingston has been in these holes, and they've made big plays when they need to.
This is the area of screens and draws and like jet sweeps, outside runs. Should have been a penalty.
And there it is.
Screen.
And there's a screen, and Harriman sniffs this one out. There are actually 2 flags on the play. There's one around the Kingston sideline, around the 20-yard line, and then there's one, and we're going to have an illegal shift, and Harriman's going to decline that one. So Harriman sniffed that play out. What did you see?
It looked like you had both wing backs moving at the same time, so it looked like a motion play, but I think he called an illegal shift. That was just a bad drive for Kingston all the way around. You lost your offensive lineman for a couple plays who looked to be a leader of that offensive line, so it had a major impact. Let's see. With Kingston going this tight formation, there's a huge opportunity to have a big return.
So Allen on for the punt. He is going to punt this one away.
Get away.
And Goodman thought about it, but ultimately lets it drop. And Harriman is going to have excellent field position. They're going to have a Hammers first down at the Kingston 42-yard line, 42 yards away from potentially tying this game.
It's a ball game, Aaron, and we expected this coming in because these two ball clubs hate each other, and there's a lot of bad blood going all the way back, to the 50s, 40s. And I've worked with a lot of guys who have played on both of these squads, and they love playing each other all the way from the little league all the way up to high school.
I tell you, when Kingston went up 14-0, and this is something that is behind the scenes a little bit, you and I looked at each other and kind of went, ugh. Love
Good
from the
run.
pistol, hands off to Green, and Michael Green Jr. is making a difference in this second half. It's just a little bit of a different of a pace. Normally you got the bruiser Coca back there, but instead you give it to a more athletic and faster Michael Green. Maybe you can hit that hole a little bit faster as we see the replay.
Yeah, it's a really good run, and Harriman's offensive line is still not getting a great push. It's just a great play by a very athletic running back.
Pickup of 6 for Green, breaks up 2nd and 4 as Harriman has made it to about the 35-yard line. Love in the pistol again. Handoff goes back to Green. Another big hole. Gets it to the 25, down to about the 23-yard line. That's good enough for a Hammers first down. And, ladies and gentlemen, Harriman's got some life to him.
Hey, I said it earlier, get the ball in his hands, and Travis Tapp must have been listening and watching us at halftime because he sure has took advantage of it. He's a difference maker. He's got some speed and some shift and some decent field vision, so keep feeding him.
I know Travis Tapp didn't go into the locker room and watch us, but it would have been a good idea on his part.
Absolutely.
Because my man right here knows what he's doing.
Look,
Green again.
He's got to hold on to the ball. Looks like Harriman's got an offensive lineman slow to get up, too.
So this time Green gets to about the 20-yard line. So a pickup of 3 will bring up about 2nd and 7. But you got this Coach Cutcliffe philosophy that you run it until they stop it.
Absolutely. At all levels you do that. Until they stop it, you keep going to it.
And now Green has come out of the game, and Coca is in the backfield, and they're going to give it to him as
Good
well.
hard
And the
run.
bruiser breaks a tackle. But he is brought down at about the 16-yard line that time. We'll give credit on the tackle to Eli Goodson.
Kingston is slow to get up. They're starting to feel this. Harriman running right at them, and Harriman's got momentum. They're fired up.
The third quarter has come to a close. Harriman driving, trailing this one 14-6 on the Ogle Elrod and Brill High School football game of the week.
You guys support community here.
Planning a funeral can be difficult at best, but it can be a lot easier if you work with people who care. That's Davis Funeral Home in Harriman and Wartburg. Davis Funeral Home gives attention to every detail, ensuring your loved ones will be remembered with honor and integrity. Davis Funeral Home works very hard to give you the most professional service possible. Davis Funeral Homes, Morgan Avenue in Harriman and Old Mill Road in Wartburg. Davis Funeral Homes, people who care.
Back at the Ogle Elrod and Brill High School football game of the week right here on BBB TV Channel 12. So happy to have Ogle Elrod and Brill online with us for this football season 2019. They will turn your wreck into a check. Here's Love. Handoff goes up the middle. This time it looks like Goodman. And he doesn't break the line of scrimmage, which is going to bring up 4th down.
Goodman carries.
And probably about 6.
And then a swarm of Yellow Jackets.
So to start the fourth quarter, Harriman has it 4th down and 6 at the 19-yard line.
Or wreck into a check.
And Goodman got wrecked on that play. I wonder if Ogle, Elrod, and Brill can turn that one into a check. So Harriman obviously in a position where they need to go for it. Love lines up in the pistol. Handoff does not go to Green. They fake it.
He's got room.
And he's going to throw it to the end zone. Touchdown, Harriman! Oh my gosh! Nick Pelfrey in the corner of the end zone. And a 2-point conversion away from tying this is the Harriman Blue Devils. This is 2018 all over again.
Who said Harriman couldn't throw? Beautiful.
I didn't say that. I promise you. I didn't do it.
Beautiful throw.
Watching that replay right to the corner of the end zone.
Heads up play by the wide receiver keeping his feet. It looked like he kept both feet in too.
So Love going for this 2-point conversion sends Goodman in motion from left to right. He's got 3 wide receivers on the right.
Make something happen.
Now he's rolling back to his left and breaks the tackle. He's going to be diving for the end zone. Does he get it?
Short.
Oh man. That was close. That was close. Harriman makes it 14-12 as we watch this replay. Love rolls around to his left, decides he's going to try to take this himself. So we see him cut back to the inside there, and you can see that's a great play, or that's a great call by the official there. The line judge saw that Love was just shy. What a play. What a game this has turned into, as we now have 11-11 left to go in this one, and we've got a 2-point game, and Harriman has a ton of momentum. So let me ask you this, Coach Gibson, if you're Coach Pankey, you got to calm your team down. What are you telling them?
You got to show me some fight. And I'm subbing in. Kingston looks a little banged up a little bit. Look at the little head hanging. They got to show some fight here, and I'd like to see Kingston start to roll out a little bit more, throw a little more passes, because Harriman's in a 50 defense. That's a run-heavy defense. And Kingston is loaded with talent at the skill position. So look for a little more rolling out and a little more running by the quarterback. I would like to see that, and Kingston get back in his ball game.
And here's the kickoff. It's fumbled around again, but finally taken by Kingston. And that is Cooper Webb. And Webb's got a lot of room around the right side. Kingston is going to have great field position here, as it looks like they're going to spot it at the Yellow Jacket 49-yard line.
Unfortunate for Harriman. It hit off the side of the kicker's foot, and that's just not a good situation for Harriman. Kingston's got some field position here.
I thought he got more yards than he did. Ball's going to be spotted at the 43-yard line.
Must stepped out of bounds.
If Kingston can run this football and take some time off the clock, they might be able to put this one away if they can punch it in the end zone. Just one of those momentum killers. So here's Collins lining up in the shotgun position, and he's going to have to do a little razzle-dazzle. Rolling out to his left, finally gets rid of it. That pass is almost picked off. Intended that time for Javar Ashford.
There had to be some miscommunication there. Something he rolled out. I'm assuming it was going to be a run because there was no wide receivers running down the field. Let's see what happens here on the replay.
Kylan Love is mad at himself because he almost had that picked off.
If Kingston turns the ball over there, it's a big time play for Harriman.
That was an ill-advised throw from a young man that has played a pretty solid football game.
Run and pick up what you can or throw it away.
So Collins back under center for Kingston. Sends a man in motion, hands off takes the jet sweep and picks up great yardage. That time it's Marcus Rose getting up to the Harriman 45-yard line and picks up the Hammers first down.
Good run by that young man. Good block.
Finally, Goodman coming over to make the tackle, assisted by Landon Frost.
Harriman's got to have a stop here.
Collins, that wing tee set. Hands
Pull
off
back
to
down.
Brackett.
Brackett straight ahead.
Stopped on the play by Coca.
Down by Dylan
Coca's
Coca.
like, I've seen that play. I run that too. Pickup of 3 brings up 2nd and 7 for Kingston.
Hunter Brackett is a talented young man. He's a very undersized fullback, so he's hard to see behind that big offensive line. So that's a good job by Coca identifying that.
Now here's a handoff for Kingston. That one goes to Hill,
Elijah Hill
and he fights for yardage. He's going to be close to the first down marker.
And 54 is back in for Kingston. As you can tell, they keep following him on those pulls, but he does give it away a little bit. He is lining up just a little bit back and lazy on that hand, so Harriman needs to identify that in a hurry.
Basler had the cramp earlier. 3rd down and let's call it 2 for the Yellow Jackets. Trying to keep this drive alive and stop the momentum of Harriman. Collins takes a snap. Handoff goes for nothing. That one was to Preston Quiet, and Mason Coca jumped the gap and stopped that one for a loss. 4th and 3. And if you're Kingston here, you pretty much have to punt the football away to this Harriman offense that's been moving the football on you the whole second half.
Yes, you're a little nervous, so let's see what they do here. They're going to go for it.
It's a gutsy call because
it's a gutsy call, but I don't want Harriman getting the ball back in their hands if I'm Brian Pankey, so I'm going to try to go for it here and hope for a first down.
Look for Kingston to try to draw Harriman off sides. Nope.
Roll out.
And Collins is going to keep it and gets around the end up to the 35-yard line, and that should – ooh, boy, that's going to be close. Ooh, boy, that's going to be close.
Runs out of bounds at the 35.
They're bringing the chains out. Have to.
Yep.
Timeout for the measurement.
Kingston offense ain't coming off the field, so let's see.
So as we see on the replay there, Collins' foot was on the 35. Ball was in his right hand.
Brian Pankey right there on it.
Oh. Turnover on downs. And Coach Pankey saying, I'm right here looking at it. Nevertheless, Coach Pankey doesn't make that call. The officials do. And Harriman with momentum.
Big stop, Aaron. Big stop. And let's see what this talented Harriman offense does here.
And Harriman, you know, they've got the momentum right now.
They do. They do.
And that's why I would have punted the football there. And listen, it goes either way. If you make it, you're the hero. If you don't make it, then hindsight's always 20/20.
Yeah.
But that's a big stop, and that gives Harriman even more motivation to drive this football down the field.
Get it in your athlete's hands.
So,
here we go.
Love keeps it, goes up the middle. Gets not much.
He had a hole early, and the offensive line just could not hold on to their blocks long enough for him to break loose, but he had a hole early. Look at that.
We brought you the Anderson County score earlier as they were only up on Clinton 7-0. Now in the fourth quarter, they're up 24-0. And we understand Hardin Valley is up on Oak Ridge as well. That's 13-0 on that score. So Michael Green Jr. gets the carry, and this time Kingston was more ready for it as Green maybe picks up 2 yards. It's going to bring up 3rd and long 5.
We have a great ball game here with Harriman potentially going to pull up the upset here. But I am really surprised by that Hardin Valley score. That's Oak Ridge is talented, so I'd like to see that ball game.
So Harriman, even if they don't convert here on third down, they still got plenty of time. There's 7 minutes remaining in this football game. See what they do here. Love lined up in the pistol. Fakes the handoff, rolls around the left sideline. He's going to keep it. Now he goes back the other direction.
I think he passed the line of scrimmage.
I think so as well.
Run it, son.
He's going to throw it downfield. It's picked off. And going back the other way for Kingston is Nathan Bowles, and Bowles is stopped by Love at the Kingston 48-yard line. That was a big momentum swing that Kingston needed badly.
Yeah, that's just an ill-advised throw from that young man. He should have ran it and kept it. He was trying to make something happen, and that's when you always have turnovers.
So Love, as what you see on this play, you kept saying, you said, keep it, young man, keep it, young man.
Yeah, he could have picked up something out of nothing or thrown the ball away, and you have field position. There's no reason to make that throw. Just ill-advised.
So Kingston, with 6:40 left to go in this game, up by 2 and in control of the football. Handoff.
6:35 left to go. If I'm Harriman, I'm swapping at that ball hard and heavy.
Elijah Hill makes it across midfield on that Hammers first down. Pickup of about 4 brings up 2nd and 6. Well, it's a long 6, a short 7. We'll say that.
Harriman defense has got to hang tough here. Got to have a stop.
Kingston is watching that play clock as well.
Oh, they're going to run time. They're going to run time.
It's been a good one, folks. Kingston trying to hang on. Jet sweep now for Kingston. Gets around the outside. That's Marcus Rose. Knocked out of bounds, which will stop the clock. And on the stop looked like Landon Frost. Ball spotted at the 42-yard line, which brings up a Hammers first down. Kingston gets that big interception. They got a little bit of momentum. Players on the sideline jumping up and down, which is what Harriman had done the entire second half. And now Kingston with a little bit of swagger themselves, trying to put this one away.
Worst case scenario for Harriman.
Collins hands off to Hill, going around the right side, makes a cut inside, now back outside. Picks up enough for the Hammers first down. Kylan Love with the stop, but that's a pickup of about 12.
Ball spotted at the 27-yard line.
The wind may have left Harriman's sails a little bit.
It has, but let's see if they can show some fight here and hang tough. Try to get a stop.
5.5 minutes now remaining in this football game.
That clock is continuing to run.
Collins keeps it going up the middle. Picks up some decent yardage before he's brought down on the play by Malachi Ray.
Brought down by number 54, Malachi Ray.
So a pickup of 5. And so Kingston showing us maybe they learned from their mistakes a little bit.
Yeah, they were looking pretty disciplined right now. They scared them a little bit earlier. It made them nervous. So they're responding well to the adversity that they showed earlier. And let's see if the decision-making of this young quarterback continues to be solid.
And really milking that clock. 4.5 minutes now left in this one. And Collins drops back to pass.
Uh-oh.
And just going to throw that one away.
Smart decision by that young man. His coach is all over him, but at least he didn't throw an interception. He threw it out of bounds.
Now, see, that stops the clock, though.
It does stop the clock, but do you want to take a big loss or get rid of the football?
4.5 exactly remaining in this football game. A big third down now, 3rd and 4. If Harriman can get a stop right here, I imagine Kingston is going to go for it. And Harriman about to run out of opportunities, needs a big stop right here.
3rd and short.
Collins has a man in motion, handoff, jet sweep going around the left side.
Oh,
what a tackle!
Good tackle by number 60.
That's Mason Coca.
Mason Coca.
Marcus Rose on the carry, and Coca just gets the arm tackle, and if Coca does not get that tackle right there, look at that replay. That is incredible. If Coca doesn't get that tackle, that is a first down, and you can pretty much start packing the bags and heading to the car.
I guarantee you Coca carries around a stress ball and just squeezes it continuously because he has some strong hands to make that tackle.
Under 4 minutes left to go in this football game. A big 4th and 4. Kingston trying to put this one away. Tries to draw Harriman off, cannot do it. And now the Yellow Jackets will just call a timeout. So 3:39 is left on the clock. Kingston leads at 14-12. A big decision coming up for the Yellow Jackets on the Ogle Elrod and Brill High School Football Game of the Week.
It's nothing personal. It's just business.
Hello?
That's how some people do things.
Right away.
To us, everything we do is personal. Because anyone can answer the call. It's who shows up that matters most. That's the quality of your independent agent and the company that stands behind them.
Griffin Insurance is your local independent auto owners insurance agency.
So here we go, 4th and 4, a big play for the Kingston Yellow Jackets and the Harriman Blue Devils. Let's see. And we've got a handoff going around the right side. Big yardage.
First
and
down.
Getting the stop is Goodman. But not before Elijah Hill can pick up the Hammers' first down.
And we've got a handoff on the right side. Big yard.
Big run. That could be the ball game. Could be the ball game. Great run by that young man.
Under 3:15, actually approaching 3:05 left to go in this ball game. Kingston in scoring position. They're running out of field, though, so they're running out of plays this possession. So if Harriman's got a couple timeouts, they might want to think about using those soon. So Hammers 1st and 10. Here's the handoff,
Fullback
goes up the
dive.
middle, and that is stopped right at the line of scrimmage.
Big 72 for Harriman.
And we've said his name a lot. That's Trevin Kirkpatrick. And Jordan Bolin also in there for the stop.
Second down 11.
That clock is continuing to run.
2:40 left to go in this game. 2nd and 11. So realistically, Kingston has 7 plays left tops in this drive because they can still get a first down. And Harriman's got to be thinking about that. Coach Travis Tapp's thinking about that clock and how it's the enemy. As Collins, the sophomore, looks up at that play clock, gets it off with 4 seconds left. And here's a big run. Ooh. Still driving tacklers is Marcus Rose. I think you're seeing Harriman winding down a little bit. They are getting tired.
And that's from all the depth that Kingston has throughout the ballgame. They've been subbing in a lot. And Harriman's talented. They just don't have the depth that a larger school has. But look for Harriman. They battled hard in this game. It's 12-14 against a very improved Kingston ball club. So Harriman, when they roll up against a 1A opponent, it's going to be a heck of a challenge for that other team.
1:35 left to go in this football game. Best case scenario for Kingston is they pick up a first down right here. And they're going to try it with Hill. And Hill's driving, still driving, still driving, still driving, still driving. And that is, he stopped at the goal line. That is best case scenario. That pretty much ends the ball game right there. So Kingston disappointed that they didn't score. You hear the fans kind of mumbling and grumbling, but this game is over for all intents and purposes.
Yes. Kingston running backs have done a great job, but I'm telling you, Aaron, I know the offensive defensive line. That's what I specialized in. And number 54 for Kingston, he has played outstanding today. And if you noticed, every big run, he was the lead blocker. He has pulled. He has had a lot of mileage on this field tonight.
So this is one of those games where you see both teams, as Harriman takes a timeout to stop the clock, you see both teams, and you don't want either of these teams to lose because it has been such a fun game to watch. But unfortunately, one of them is going to be on the losing end, as this is the Ogle, Elrod, and Burrell High School football game of the week.
The Harriman Utility Board is dedicated to providing the best services to the people of Roane and Morgan counties. Recently, the Harriman Utility Board's water plant received top honors, beating over 250 other plants their size in Tennessee and Kentucky. Being presented the Award of Excellence has not halted any improvements at the plant. In fact, on their 2010 sanitary survey, they received a perfect score from the Tennessee Department of Environment and Conservation. For more information about the Harriman Utility Board, visit them online at hub-tn.com.
So out of the Harriman timeout, again, this game, we'll see what happens. Kingston might decide to try to punch it in, which I don't know why they would.
I know why they would, because it's a rivalry game.
That's true, but you
always want bragging points.
You give Harriman the football back.
You do.
I wouldn't want Harriman to have it. Harriman still has 2 timeouts left. I imagine Kingston kneeling here.
They're punching it in.
No. Quarterback sneak. Collins trying to punch it in. And Coach Tapp calls a timeout.
Stop short of the goal line. Second down, go.
Hey, we're talking about Kingston learning from mistakes. You've got,
Timeout, Blue Devils.
as Harriman takes timeout, you've got 1:01 left in this game. If Kingston scores, you give Harriman the ball back, give them an opportunity to score, kick an onside kick. I mean, you're talking about something that is statistically not likely to happen, but it's still an option.
We've seen crazier things happen on Friday night, Aaron. But I know how it is playing these rivalry games. You want bragging rights, and you want to punch in another touchdown to seal the fate of the Harriman Blue Devils. But it also would your kids really buy in. Whenever you can score a late touchdown like this, seal the win, it kind of gives you a little momentum moving on to next week. So I would potentially take a knee here, but look for Kingston to try to punch it back in.
But again, like you're saying, it shows your kids, we trust you.
Yeah, we believe in you.
To go out and win and finish this game.
Yep. And no high schooler wants to take a knee in this situation here.
No, certainly not. So, Collins going to take the snap from under center, and Harriman jumps. I don't know how you can get it any closer to the goal line, though.
You can't.
That'll be encroachment on Harriman. That is half the distance to the goal. You're going to move it a centimeter.
You'll move it a centimeter, but you'll have Harriman really watching the ball now, so you can go quick count and sneak it right into the end zone here if you want to.
And that's the coach's perspective that you bring to the broadcast, so I'm glad to have you on. So Kingston trying to
look for the quarterback sneak, following that center right up the middle. You don't want to hand the ball off in these type of situations and risk a fumble.
Yeah, but don't you love that classic play where the running back dives over the line?
The Jabari Davises that Tennessee plays?
Yeah.
Absolutely. Look, touchdown.
And Kingston does punch it in with 57.7 seconds left. So the Yellow Jackets go up 20-12. And now they're up 8. Here's what I'm saying, though. They're up 8. If something goes haywire on this extra point, then it's still a one-score game.
Absolutely. Like I said, we've seen crazier things on Friday nights.
So now, I don't know if you'd call it pressure. Kickers are used to pressure. But Preston Allen has a very important extra point right here because it could make it a 2-score game for Kingston. And it's up, and it is wide left. No, it's good. Okay.
It had a curve on it. That's for sure.
Boy, that was close.
Now, I don't anticipate Kingston.
Oh, we've got a flag on the play. Roughing the kicker on Harriman. That will be assessed on the kickoff. So Kingston will kick with a short field when we get back. Kingston leads this one 21-12 on the Ogle Elrod and Brill High School Football Game of the Week.
Make this spring all about enjoying the experience. When you ride on your new Ferris commercial mower featuring patented suspension technology, you'll have more than freshly manicured grass. You'll experience productivity and comfort like never before. And because you won't be slowing down for those rough spots, you'll mow more lawn in less time. Ferris, experience suspension.
Your local Ferris dealer is SL Bowman & Sons, 524 North Front Street in Rockwood. Call 865-354-0600.
That's positive. All right, back at Kingston. The Yellow Jackets lead this one 21-12.
I don't anticipate Kingston wanting to do a deep kick to Harriman's athletes, but Harriman hasn't had a very big kick return all game. But I'm on the safe side here, and I'm doing some sort of a squid kick to one of the upbacks here and hope for a fumble or just a minimum return.
You also, because this is smaller ball, you've got a 3A team. Again, 3A is bigger than a Class A team, but it's still smaller.
Yeah.
Do you have the availability to kick a squib kick?
Well, Kingston traditionally has always had a strong kicker, so we'll see what they elect to do here. He might be able to punch it to the end zone for the touchback, but I'm still kicking short here.
So let's see Preston Allen up to bat. Kicks this one high in the air, and it is going to go into the end zone.
Yep.
That's a touchback. I'm actually kind of surprised that Bryson Goodman for Harriman didn't try to catch that and try to make a play. But what he does is he keeps the clock from running.
He does, and it allows the offense to come out and hope for a couple plays.
This is one of those situations, too, where you see Kingston coming out in like a prevent type quarters coverage. And it's one of those deals where, and Kingston's going to call a timeout here. It's one of those deals where you trade field position for time off the clock, and sometimes that's not always the best thing to do.
As a defensive coach, I'm never a fan of the prevent defense. Do what you've done all night long and get after that quarterback. Get some pressure on him and make for another ill-advised decision and try to shoot for a turnover. I've never been a fan of the prevent. It allows some crazy things to happen.
We're so happy that Ogle, Elrod, and Burrell are on with us. And I think Ogle, Elrod, and Burrell are going to be happy with this broadcast tonight. They're going to be happy with the football game that they were able to sponsor and get on. We thank them so much for being the title sponsor. They do so much for high school and local athletics, and they'll come to you and they turn your rec into a check. They won't get paid until you do. So thank you to Ogle, Elrod, and Burrell. So here is Love, rolls out to his left. He's got nothing. He's tackled. He stays in bounds. The clock will continue to run as Kingston makes a stop. Looked like that time it was Hunter Brackett sacking the quarterback.
Not a good decision by the young quarterback there. He should have got out of bounds or threw the ball away. That's not a good decision.
So Love with that clock running. 35 seconds now. Takes a snap. Looks to throw. Will launch it. A really good throw, but unfortunately to the wrong team. And now this game comes to a close as Kingston will have to come out and kneel the football a couple times, but this one is going to be in the books.
It was, and you're asking a lot out of a Harriman team that obviously isn't a strength of theirs of throwing the football. But it goes back to the ill-advised interception earlier in the ball game in the fourth quarter there when Harriman had field position, was driving, and the young quarterback started scrambling and threw an ill-advised interception, and we all saw it coming.
So probably our final hammers first down of the game as we see the good sportsmanship, the Kingston linemen and Harriman linemen slapping hands with each other, slapping fives. This game means nothing for playoffs or anything. It's just pride. It's county pride. I love how the Roane County teams all play each other, and you will have a county champion when it's all said and done. As Collins will kneel, and unless somebody calls a timeout, I don't expect them to.
Harriman has nothing to hold their heads down about. This is a bigger Kingston program, and Harriman could have very easily won this ball game, Aaron.
Absolutely. We were looking at it. Kingston's up 14-0, and then all of a sudden it's 14-6, and then all of a sudden it's 14-12. Harriman is driving. They've got great field position, and Kingston comes up with that huge interception to turn momentum into their favor. So we had a great one here in Roane County. Kingston wins this one 20-12. So it's been a great way to open up the season.
Absolutely. You couldn't ask for a better game. And look for Harriman to make a lot of noise in single-A football in the area this year. And Kingston looks improved. They've got more numbers out. They look a little bit bigger and stronger. And I've really impressed with this ball club, both ball clubs tonight, because Harriman, like I said, could have very easily won this ball game.
So that's how it's going to end up, 21-12. That'll go in the record books for years to come, forever. And that's how we will wrap up this segment. We'll come back. We'll do some scores around the area, and we'll talk about this game a little bit when we get back. You're listening to, or you're watching, rather, the Ogle, Elrod, and Burrell High School Football Game of the Week.
Support community here.
Planning a funeral can be difficult at best, but it can be a lot easier if you work with people who care. That's Davis Funeral Home in Harriman and Wartburg. Davis Funeral Home gives attention to every detail, ensuring your loved ones will be remembered with honor and integrity. Davis Funeral Home works very hard to give you the most professional service possible. Davis Funeral Homes, Morgan Avenue in Harriman and Old Mill Road in Wartburg. Davis Funeral Homes, people who care.
You don't think it'll happen to you twice. First, it was a fire. My agent was right there and helped me rebuild. Then the tornado destroyed everything, again. Both times, my independent agent and auto owners took care of me like someone takes care of family.
For whatever lies ahead, we're always there.
Griffin Insurance in Kingston is your local independent auto owners insurance agency.
The Harriman Utility Board is committed to providing safe and reliable natural gas service to our customers in Harriman and Roane County through the use of safe operational procedures with trained and knowledgeable personnel. An odorant is added to natural gas and maintained to a certain level so that in the event of a gas leak, it can be easily detected. If you smell or suspect a natural gas leak, please call the Harriman Utility Board at 882-3242. We can be reached 24 hours a day, 7 days a week.
Breaker, breaker, good buddy. We've just rolled in from Georgia with a truckload of throw rugs. That was back in my truck driving days, many years ago. Rugs are still rolling in from Georgia every month, featuring Oriental and contemporary area rugs, carpet-style throw rugs, and much more. All rugs are sold at the lowest prices possible. Find your rug at Hammer Stores.
It's the final days of the Hurry Up and Save sales event at Ray Varner Ford in Clinton. New 2019 Ford Transit medium roof cargo van, $32,925. New 2019 Ford Transit Connect cargo van, $21,992. New 2019 F-250 Lariat Sport Crew Cab 4x4, $54,818. Hurry up and save at Ray Varner Ford in Clinton, I-75 exit 122, or shop us online at rayvarnerford.com.
Back at Kingston, Aaron Harvey, James Gibson with you. For the first game of the year, this was a good one to be at.
Absolutely. Anytime you can come to these big Roane County rivalries, you're always watching good football because Roane County always attracts some really good football coaches, and they always have a lot of support because there's a lot of tradition in Roane County. There's been Rockwood's won a state championship, Kingston's won a state championship, Harriman's went to a state championship. There's a lot of talent down here normally, and with all the school consolidation talk, it would be scary to see a Roane County high school down here. You're talking rivaling the Blount County teams.
Oh yeah, a lot of talent. Just smaller schools. And there are some good storylines here in Roane County, and we'll get to see more of these teams as the schedule goes on. But Ryan Minton, leaving Midway in really good hands, goes to Minton, hands that program over to Ron Treadway, who is a name that everybody in Roane County knows.
Excellent coach, excellent administrator, excellent teacher.
So that's Midway's head coach, and the last update we had, Midway and Rockwood were tied at 6. And so when you're talking about a school like Rockwood with a head coach like John Webb, who's been there, 24 years? Rockwood's such a storied program, as you know. You've talked about it. And then for Midway they're hanging in that thing, and they won that game last year, and that's turned into a really, normally played on Thursdays, but that's turned into a really competitive, really good game between Midway and Rockwood. Midway's going to be good this year. Rockwood's good every year. Kingston, we saw here, they're going to be tough. Harriman's going to be tough. Roane County, they've got a lot of talent this year.
Absolutely, and adding Treadway to Midway is going to really have a major impact on that small program there. Midway never has very many numbers, but they always sport a very tough bunch of kids. Same as Rockwood. Rockwood usually has a little more talent traditionally, but as you said, John Webb, he's one of the best high school football coaches in East Tennessee.
We got really fortunate tonight with the weather. Rained a little bit coming out of halftime, but that was it. And we didn't go to any delays, whereas some of these other schools have gone to major delays. Last we heard a late kickoff in Coalfield. The last score we heard, it's 12-0 Coalfield. So they lead over Wartburg. And let's see, Grace Christian, last score update we have, up 18-6 over Stone Memorial. The last score we have is Hardin Valley up on Oak Ridge, 13-0. Oliver Springs, the last score we had up on Oneida, 7-0. And then that game was going into a storm delay. As I told you, last we had Loudon up on Greenback, 13-0. A final score out of Clinton. Anderson County gets that win, 26-0, shutting out the Dragons. That's expected.
That is expected, but I was glad to see Clinton made a lot of progress and hung in early.
Maryville with a shutout over William Blount, 42-0. Catholic gets the shutout over Chucky Doak. No surprise there, 48-0. Ray County blowing out Carter. Last update we had, 42-6. Lenore City up on Heritage, 14-7 last count we had. And Bradley Central has led over Farragut all game long. We've been keeping up with that score. But now in the fourth quarter, not sure how much time is left, but in the fourth quarter, Farragut leading over Bradley Central 31-30. So another great game.
That's a surprising score, to be honest with you. Bradley Central is a good ball club, but Farragut, I was expecting them to finish first or second in the region.
Scott High, how about the Highlanders up 28-6 over Cumberland County? Carnes was up on Walker Valley. They still are by our last count, but 34-28, that's a really close game between the Beavers and the Mustangs. Halls up on Gibbs, 14-13 is what we have. And I think that's about all the scores we have to update you on. So it's going to be a long football season. We're going to be with you for at least 11 weeks, and I'm really looking forward to this football season. It's football. It's finally here.
It's football time in Tennessee. And how many days away from Tennessee kickoff? 8?
It's closing in on 7 now because we're so late in the Friday evening. Did you see where Florida's University posted at midnight that it was game day?
I guess they're a little excited for that Miami game, are they?
Yeah, well, I don't know if we're supposed to be impartial when we're here. I wasn't given that instruction. I always try to be impartial, but anytime I get to make fun of the Florida Gators, I'm going to do it.
Absolutely.
They said that today was game day. They posted that on their official Twitter, so
But look for Dan Mullen to make some noise down there at Florida this year with he's done a heck of a job by all accounts with Franks really making some improvements, and there's been a lot of negativity coming out of Florida, losing several high-profile recruits that literally they just signed. And I know Florida signed a top 10 signing class last year, but if you took into account all the departures they've had already this preseason, they fall out of the top 25.
Yeah, and somebody ran the numbers. I was listening to the radio. Somebody ran the numbers, and 4 stars and 5 stars, Tennessee actually has 4 more than Florida.
I would assume Tennessee's are younger players, with Jeremy Pruitt's recruiting classes being very high and very talented. He's recruiting to his type of player. Just because you're the most talented player doesn't mean you're getting an offer from Jeremy Pruitt. He likes a hard-nosed football player that's going to go in there and work, and he doesn't look at the star ratings like the former staff was rumored to do. Right. He looks at the player itself and how hard of a worker you are and your academic success. So look for Jeremy Pruitt to start slowly making a major difference in that program.
All right, so I'm gonna theoretically, hypothetically place you in the locker rooms of both of our teams tonight. So Coach Gibson turned into Coach Pankey. What did you just tell your Kingston team?
A great win against a great opponent. Had a few mistakes here and there, but I'm extremely proud of every single one of you guys. You got a lot of repetition in for some of your younger players on rotating in, and I'm impressed with the Kingston program. But if I'm Coach Tapp at Harriman, I'm also telling my kids, do not hang your heads low. You just went out there and battled against a very talented Kingston team that's bigger, got more kids than you, and you could have won this ball game. So there's no reason for Harriman to hang their heads. And I'm telling you, they're going to make some noise this year, but too many ill-advised mistakes by the Harriman players. It's a very good opportunity for Coach Tapp to make some good coaching, teaching points about the game of football and the game of life. So I want to see him really take advantage of that.
One team from Roane County we didn't mention, Oliver Springs. We will see them at Oliver Springs against this Kingston team. That should be a very, very good game. I want to thank all of our sponsors: Oak Ridge Utility District, Evans Mortuary, Griffin Insurance, Harriman Utility Boards, Ray Varner Ford, S.L. Bowman and Sons, and Davis Funeral Homes. But most of all, I want to thank Ogle, Elrod, and Burrell. Remember, they don't get paid until you get paid. They turn your wreck into a check. They help out the community so much. We thank them so much for sponsoring high school football right here on BBB TV Channel 12. For James Gibson, I'm Aaron Harvey. Thank you for joining us. We'll see you next week in Oliver Springs.
It's nothing personal. It's just business.
Hello?
That's how some people do things.
Right away.
To us, everything we do is personal. Because anyone can answer the call. It's who shows up that matters most. That's the quality of your independent agent and the company that stands behind them.
Griffin Insurance is your local independent auto owners insurance agency.
Here is Helen Hammer. Thank you, Mr. Walker. A lot of years have passed since that TV ad. Hammer stores are still offering up-to-the-minute fashions for men and women, famous label outdoor wear and boots, area rugs, and exciting purchases. All at Hammer's famous low price. Race on down!
I am a Simplicity dealer. This business is my life, my career. If you need a new mower, I'll help you choose